Hello and welcome back to the Aquatics GB Championships here at this iconic swimming pool at the London Aquatics Centre. We are in the thick of it now. It's day 4. We're over the halfway stage. We've had plenty of British champions crowned. We've also had so many records broken right here, including Ollie Morgan in the 100-metre back, who not only beat his record from last year, but he absolutely demolished it. We've had 16 athletes confirmed on that plane to Singapore for the World Championships. Who else is going to add their name on day 4? Hello, yes, welcome back to the London Aquatics Centre. There is plenty more where all of that came from. We are going to be crowning even more British champions, and we are going to be getting even more athletes on that plane to Singapore, or at least the ticket to Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back. The athletes have been arriving. They are in full spirits for another big day of racing. There's Duncan Scott trying to hide there, but he will be going for another title. There is Katie Shanahan. She's going to go in the 200-metre back. There's Freya Colbert, who will be trying to race against Katie Shanahan. And Honey Osrin will also be in that race. That one is incredibly exciting and will be rounding off the day. So, welcome. Day 4, we're halfway through the championships. There is a lot to come, though. Still so many titles to be given out. Here's a reminder of how it all works, because we've got a lot of finals to get through. So we had the heats this morning, and then we had the B finals a little bit earlier. The British final, or the A final, is where the top 8 from the heats make it through to that. We've also got the junior finals and the para finals. Remember, the top 8 from those heats make it into the para final. All of that is ranked on points. So, what is coming up on a very exciting day 4? Let's take a look. The men's 50-metre backstroke. We've got a lot of races to get through today, followed by the women's 50-metre butterfly, the men's 100-metre butterfly, the women's 400-metre freestyle, the men's 200-metre IM, and then we've got the women's 200-metre backstroke to round it all off. That one is pretty stacked, actually. I don't think you can call it. It is very, very exciting. But joining me on the sofa today is 3-time Olympians. We've got Yona Knight-Wisdom and Grace Reed, who, by the way, have just completed the most insane diving that I think I have ever seen. Grace, go on, explain how you ended that, how you rounded that off, because you did a little bit of a showcase here in the arena before we went on air, and you were sort of on Yona's back. Or shoulders.
It's a hard one to explain. Essentially in a sort of crucifix position, and Yona sort of gets under my armpits and lifts me above his head. So he was a little bit shaky at one point, and then as we left, sort of hoping not to land on each other. But we've been doing things like that since we were little, so it's great to do something like that that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the javelin. I think it's worth saying that we've never done that before together. We just sent that in the show, and it works out well.
So good. Yona, were you particularly shaky because you've now retired, haven't you?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
As the months go on, I imagine you're a bit like, oh, I haven't done this for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I've only just been getting back into some kind of gym routine as well, so the body's not feeling as premium as it was in Paris last year, but it's just good to get back to some kind of movement, and just being back in the water is so much fun. But the adrenaline was definitely coursing through my veins.
I can imagine. We're watching some of the clips now of you guys and the divers. Talk us through some of this, Grace.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Robin up there on 10 metre and doing these skills that it's, 10 metres up, to find vertical, it's a big task. And we've got Kyle there DJing. It's his part-time hobby as well. He's not just an athlete. And then myself doing, I think what is called a flying squirrel. So, yeah.
You look like you're about to do a belly flop.
Yeah, that is the point. But you can see we put a mat on 10 metre there to do a sort of slip and slide. And you can see just like how much fun. I mean, this is what we were talking about.
Here's the big one. at that.
Oh, that's pretty good from me. I'm actually quite impressed.
Not good from me.
So good. So, Grace, you've obviously been to 3 Olympics. What's the plan for you at the moment? What do you think the future is?
I mean, the biggest thing on the horizon right now is obviously World Championships in summer, and that's sort of everything that I'm gearing towards. But I'm absolutely loving my training, and even doing something like that today, just a bit of a reminder of why, like, 5-year-old Grace got involved in the sport, and I'm just absolutely loving it and going from strength to strength. And
Yona, what about you? Because you're now a coach, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
With Aquatics GB now. Are you finding it interesting, the sort of transition from being a diver and competing to now sort of helping the divers?
Yeah, it's a huge transition. I'm working alongside some of my peers down here. I mean, Grace is probably the only person that's more experienced than me in international diving. So going from a training partner, and we've known each other for such a long time, to a coach-athlete relationship it's been an interesting transition for me, but it's something I'm really enjoying. And I knew that it was time for me to retire after Paris, but you know, what better way to stay involved in the sport than being on poolside, coaching the divers, you know, achieve their goals. So I'm enjoying it a lot. And
you used to compete for Jamaica, didn't you? So now you've moved over to the dark side.
I definitely wouldn't say the dark side.
No, it's a very successful side. Looking forward to like LA 2028, what do you think Aquatics GB will be looking to achieve?
You know, I think it is just really going from strength to strength, and you see like the depth within every discipline, you know, swimming, synchro, diving, water polo, everything now. And I think, you know, it's so great to see all these young people that are coming through, and, you know, 4 years, it seems like a long time, but it's not. And you've got all these youngsters that are snapping at our heels now, and it's just amazing to see.
I can imagine. Well, congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much for opening tonight with that incredible performance. And also, if anyone's watching this, there's so much diving to follow the British team, because they are incredible. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Now let's turn our attention back to the swimming here at the London Aquatics Centre. 16 swimmers have booked their place on that plane to Singapore for the World Championships. You can see them all here. Of course, Matt Richards, Tom Dean, Ben Proud, James Guy, Duncan Scott have already got their tickets to Singapore after winning those medals in Paris. But you can see the names on the right-hand side that have managed to book their spots. They won't necessarily be racing in those events. For example, Duncan Scott won the 200 butterfly, and afterwards he said there's no way he wants to be doing that. But look, those are the lists, and the exact races will be confirmed very shortly. Well, I can say now, joining me on the sofa is 2 of those athletes that were confirmed for Singapore after winning medals in Paris. Hello, Matt Richards and Tom Dean. How are you both doing after yesterday? Because you competed yesterday. You must be a little bit tired.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think yesterday for both of us, 2 of us, is a sort of shorter event than we're used to with that 200. So a little bit tired maybe, but yeah, still fresh face, ready to go for the rest of the week.
And Tom, what about you? Because last night I was talking to you about food and what you're going to have for dinner. Did you find your right dinner place? Were you satisfied?
Absolutely did. Filled my boots. My mum and I went out for some food, so nice, fresh and recovered. Matt's got a few more events this week. I'm done and dusted, so I can relax slightly. You've got 2 more events coming up, I think, but no, it's a lot of fun. Racing last night takes a bit out of you, obviously, physically, emotionally, but a good feed, a good dinner last night sorted me out.
I don't know what you're talking about, because you can't relax, because you're doing commentary later, mate, so you're going to have to be on your A game.
I know. I can't let anything slip up, but I'm in very safe hands with Andy and Dan.
Yeah, you are indeed. Let's talk about the 100 free last night, which you both competed in, you both medalled in. Matt Richards, you were, of course, crowned champion once again. Let's take a look at it, because this was an incredibly impressive race. Matt, talk us through this from your perspective.
Yeah, I think for me it was all about getting out to a good start, which I did there. You know, you can see I was sort of at the front of the picture, but right in the middle of the pool there, you're really in the middle of the mix, and you know you've got big guys either side of you, so there's nowhere to hide. You know, you've got to come back strong. Probably wasn't my best finish ever, but just about managed to get there and get my hand on the wall.
And now, obviously, Tom, the relay team is confirmed. Strong relay team, you happy with that?
Oh, super strong relay team. I mean, Matt and I have done the 4x1 loads of times. You know, Jacob Whittle, a staple in that 4x1 freestyle relay. Jacob Mills, 17 years of age, a 48.0. I mean, we thought Whittle was a quick junior, and then Jacob Mills has gone and done something pretty special. So it's fantastic. I can't wait to race with kind of some exciting new energy on the team as well. It'll be great out in Singapore.
Yeah, does that help, Matt, when you've got a sort of youngster coming through that is so quick, so fast, that's got a lot of potential? Is it nice having someone like that to not only keep you on your toes, but also to sort of help develop and bring through?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, there's always when you get somebody new onto the team like that, there's always that fresh perspective and new ideas, a new mindset that maybe the team didn't have in the past. So, you know, as much as he'll be able to learn a lot from us guys that have been there and we've done it before, there's definitely things we'll be able to learn from him and aspects that he can bring to the team that maybe we haven't looked at. So, yeah, it's fantastic for that dynamic, and to bring somebody new into that quartet and develop that team together is really exciting for the next cycle.
Very exciting. Talking about exciting, last night, Ollie Morgan in the 100 back was absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at this, because he was so incredibly fast. Not only did he smash his record from last year, he absolutely obliterated it. Tom, what did you make of his performance?
It's incredible. I've known Ollie for a few years, and you've really seen his trajectory. I think I would have got silver at Paris, if I'm not mistaken. I saw that online some of that time. Absolutely incredible. I mean, that's the fastest 100 backstroke final, I'm pretty sure, in British swimming history. The three Bath boys, Cam Brooker, Matt Ward and Jack Scarry, all did fantastic times. But Ollie just blew them all out of the water. Incredible. And to knock so much off a British record, I don't think people quite realise how difficult that is on 100 metres to do that. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, how difficult is it to do it on 100 metres? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough. I've not quite managed to knock that much off of a British record before. I mean, you know, anytime you see a British record broken, it's always impressive, but especially to see one that before Ollie came along had stood for such a long time. For him to come and break that initially over the last couple of years, start taking little dints away at it, and then last night to just obliterate it and knock it out of the water, especially with, you know, what he would describe as not his best finish. You know, there's probably a 51 in there if he can get that race right in the summer.
Maybe he'll be winning gold in LA 28. Never know, never know.
Fingers crossed.
Let's take a look at what is coming up this evening then, because it is a stacked schedule. Take a look at this. The men's 50-metre backstroke, Ollie Morgan back in the water. Then we've got the women's 50-metre butterfly, the men's 100-metre butterfly, the women's 400-metre freestyle, the men's 200-metre IM, which has got Duncan Scott. I don't think anyone can beat Duncan Scott, can they? And then you've got the women's 200-metre backstroke, which is going to be a very, very interesting one. Let's talk about the men's 100-metre fly. This is going to be really, really interesting, isn't it? We've got Ed Mildred in, he's been looking really good, hasn't he?
He's been looking fantastic. I mean, Ed trains in Manchester with myself up there, so we've seen him progress in this season and seen what he's done in training and the competitions leading into this. He looks incredible. He was fantastic on the two fly. His 100 free last night was right around his PB, so I think he'll be really strong. But Jacob Peters there this morning as well, pushed him right away to the wall. So, you know, there's a lot of guys in there that you can't write off. Josh
Gammon as well, Tom. We know what he can do. Do you think he's got it in him to win gold today?
I would not take your eyes off Josh Gammon if you're watching his 100 butterfly tonight. He said this morning felt comfortable, so I know he's got more in it for tonight. If you remember the 100 butterfly from last year at the Olympic trials, actually, it all came down to the finish. I think we're going to see something quite similar tonight. Ed Mildred, a fantastic 200 fly, obviously, earlier on. Joe Litchfield, he's British champion 100 fly. You can't write any of these guys off. It's going to be such a good race. I can't wait.
And he was quite surprised, wasn't he, last time when he became British champion? He wasn't quite expecting it. He goes off really slowly, but then comes back in that latter half of the race. As a swimmer, when you know that you've got quite a slow start, what do you need to do? That might be a stupid question, because obviously you're like, we'll just go faster at the start, but it's not as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's actually one of the fastest starters in the field. His time to 15 metres is incredible. He's underwater, he's one of the best in the world. But yeah, he's got a really strong back end on that 100 fly, and I think for him tonight it'll be all about keeping his nerve down that first 50, trusting his process and his race plan, and then bringing it back strong. But as Tom said, it's going to come right down to the wire, that race, and I think it's all going to come down to the last 5 metres, who spots the wall better.
Tom, let's talk about the 200 IM, a race that you know more than most people. Here's Charlie Hutchinson. He fancies his chances, but it's going to be so tough for him against Duncan Scott, isn't it?
Yeah, Charlie's a great racer. He's obviously a fantastic 400 medley swimmer. He did a really good time earlier in the week, so it means he's got the engine for the back end, so he's going to have a really strong finish. Duncan, obviously, incredible performer, two-time Olympic silver medalist in this event. I wouldn't write off Matt Ward. I know he's been training really well. He had a great backstroke yesterday as well. There he is pushing Duncan in the heats this morning. I train with him every single day. I know how hard he's worked on this event, so it's going to be fantastic. I think Duncan obviously could do something really special. It's going to be a really good race.
Okay, and what about the women's 200-metre back then, Matt? Because there's 3 swimmers in this that know each other incredibly well, Honey being one of them, Honey Osrin. this could be very tight.
Absolutely. This women's two back is almost developing in a similar sort of way to that men's 200 freestyle, where you just don't know who's going to get there. You know, like you say, there's 3 people in that event that have all got a really good claim to try and get themselves on that plane to Singapore. But as we know, you can only have 2 spots. So it's really going to come down to who can get that top 2 spot. The time is almost irrelevant in this race. The 3 of them are just going to be vying for those top 2 spots. And I just don't know who I'd put my money on for that race.
Katie Shanahan there is obviously one of the top contenders. So it is all very exciting. There is a lot to race for today. And before I let you two go, what are you doing this evening then? Just watching? I know you're jumping on commentary, Tom. Are you getting excited? Nervous?
Absolutely. I'm really excited. I was saying earlier, I'm a swimmer, but I'm a massive swimming fan as well. So I can't wait to watch some great racing. I'll be here all night, supporting my team, supporting the other swimmers along, and like you said, jumping behind the microphone with Andy and Dan.
Well, I'm expecting some gold medal commentary. And Matt, you looking forward to watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be watching it back from the hotel this evening because I've got the 53 to get ready for tomorrow. But I'll be watching on the live stream just like everybody at home, and I'll be cheering on the teammates from Manchester and the rest of the British swimming team.
Perfect. Well, good luck for the rest of the week as well. Well, all the athletes are starting to come out for the men's 50-metre backstroke junior final. So we'll hand you over to your commentary team of Andy Jameson and Dan Jervis.
What a great set of summaries that was, Betty. That's a fantastic summary of what we've got this evening. It's going to be a cracking night, it really is. Starting off with this men's junior 50 metres backstroke final. And the fastest seed right in the centre is Dale Zachariah, the 17-year-old from last year. 6th on that British Championships for the 17-year-olds. He's from Repton. Ubatali from Chelsea Westminster in lane number 5, the 18-year-old. No qualification time for the 50 metres of the stroke events, the fly, the back and the breast. The Olympic Association has just added them into the Olympic programme for 2028, but only just done it, so the selection policy already issued for this year. But the selectors do have discretion, so if somebody does something really special, they will be considered. I would imagine it's going to be the last year there's going to be no qualification time for a major championship. The 50s suddenly become very important indeed. This is the junior final, the 50 backstroke. Dale in 4, Uvatali in 5, Shepherd in 6. So it's just one length backstroke. They've got to really make sure they hold the water, but turn over really well as well. Right up the top there in lane 2, Jack Burston of Ellesmere College had a good start. Coming through now in the centre, though, the big boys, it's Dale in 4, it's Ubatali in 5, and Dale in 4, really strong. Good long stroke, decent turnover as well, powerful lad. See if he can get the touch. He does. That's really good. 26.01. Wow, that's a new lifetime best for him, winning the junior final of the men's 50 metres backstroke. And to be frank, I think that was excellent all the way through, Dan.
Yeah, that was great. Zachariah Dale did come 6th in the 50-metre backstroke at the GB Summer Champs last year. He was 17 this year. He has just won the junior final in that event.
Well, certainly the second half was excellent. He got to about 20 metres and then just started picking up the pace. It was a really strong second half. Zachariah Dale of Repton winning the junior final of the 50 backstroke. 26.01, new lifetime best for him. Ubatali 2nd and Davis Tutel from Sheffield in 3rd. Now the big final of this men's 50 metres backstroke. Can't wait for this. And there's a green bank in it as usual, but it's not the usual green bank. This is Sam Greenback, not his brother Luke, the Olympic bronze medalist on the 200. This is Sam. Well done for making this final. Rio Dowdu of Mount Kelly, he's had a really good meet so far in a couple of junior finals and swum very well. Powerful lad. See what he can do in this 50 metres backstroke. It's the big final. Jamie Ferguson of University of Aberdeen in lane 7. 6th fastest seed into this final, and then Scott Gibson will come out in 2. Really looking forward to that battle, though, in the centre between Ollie Morgan, the fastest seed, and Jonathan Marshall. Hard to call who's going to get it, but Morgan's on fire here, isn't he?
Yeah, this is a great placing for Jonathan Marshall in 5 and Cam Booker in lane 3, because they know the person in the middle of them, but the person sandwiched between them, is going out like a rocket this week.
Well, here is Cam Brooker. He is in lane number 3, the 3rd fastest seed for this big final of the 50 metres backstroke. And now Johnny Marshall. I've got to tell you, this guy, I think he's a threat. I think he's a proper threat. He's doing his Gator clap. He's from the Florida Gators University in the States. Very, very strong team indeed they are. And he very nearly won the American Collegiate National Championships on the 100 backstroke. Here he is. What a super 100 metres backstroke he swam. Won the gold here in a qualification time. Smashed his own British record. And with a 52.1 and a horrible finish, to me it was a 51 point. And if he can do that, well, his 52.1 would have got him silver at the Olympics. What a prospect for the World Championships this summer. He's in 4, Ollie Morgan. The British record, well, it's still held by Liam Tancock, 24.01. Well, if they get anywhere near that, I'll be astonished. 24.7 is the lifetime best.
When that British record was done, it was the world record.
Indeed it was. It was by the tank, Liam Tancock, who won the World Championships back in 2009. And that British record has been around for ages. 24.04 it is. So the final of the men's 50 metres backstroke, Morgan in 4. But either side of him, 2 big boys in 3. It's Cam Brooker in 5. Watch out for Johnny Marshall. If he hits the straps on his start, he's going to be quite hard to beat. Morgan starts as favourite. Morgan in 4 in that bright red hat. Already on the plane to Singapore with an outstanding 100 backstroke. See what he can do here in the 50. Men's 50 metres backstroke final at this 2025 Aquatics GB Championships. And a very even start. Cam Brooker probably getting the best start in 3. Now coming through is Ollie Morgan. Wow, he holds so much water, but his turnover is incredible. Absolutely extraordinary. And his second 25, very, very strong from Oliver Morgan, who's going to get the touch inside the last 5 underneath the backstroke flags. Morgan dives for it, 24.43. He takes the gold and has gold on this 50 to that which he won on the 100. And he's done the sweep of the 50 and the 100 metres backstroke at these championships. The silver going to Johnny Marshall, 24.88. Well, that's a new lifetime best for him. And the bronze to Cam Brooker after an outstanding start. Cam Brooker, a new lifetime best for him too. So PBs all round for gold, silver and bronze.
Yeah, that was an excellent race from Ollie Morgan. He is the defending champion in this event. And Andy, it looks like he improved his finish from yesterday.
Well, I'm sure he's had about 1,000 people telling him what to do on his finish. It's very easy, you know, sitting in the stands watching. Awfully hard when your legs are falling off and you just think, oh, my goodness me. But he hits it beautifully here. Big time. Oh, a little bit of a glide, but very good. Very good. Number 1. High fives to his mate next to him, Johnny Marshall, swimming for Carnegie here. So Ollie Morgan wins the men's 50 metres backstroke. Lifetime best for the top 3. Morgan wins. He gets the gold. Johnny Marshall the silver. And Cam Brooker the bronze. Well, let's see what this medalist got to say to Betty Glover.
Well, would you look at that? Our first medalists of the evening. Everybody, give it up. Ollie Morgan, I've got to speak to you because you are British champion once again. And you were so good there. You were so fast. Is that exactly how you wanted to target that race?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with that. It's the first time I PB'd, I think, in that event for a while. So haven't done it tapered for a while, so it's quite nice to, put it all together again. Just loving being in this arena.
Even more impressive, given that you were up last night watching Manchester United. Probably didn't get a lot of sleep.
No, I think I had about 3 hours good sleep. A few boos in the crowd, but it was just a bit of a roller coaster last night with how well the 100 went, and then the up and down of being the Man United supporter. So
it can be a tough life. You got the British record last night. Is the British record in the 50 in your sights? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's pretty quick. 24.0 is pretty hard to get down to. So I think I've taken another 0.3 off. So it's coming slowly. All right, brilliant. Congratulations. Thank you. And give it up for Johnny and Cam as well.
Well, it's great to see those big boys having a crack at each other on those 50-metre sprints, isn't it? And Ollie Morgan has just knocked another 0.3 of a second off his lifetime best on the 50. It was 0.7, I think, on the 100. And, well, the medal presenter, Rebecca Morgan. That's Ollie's sister. Fantastic. Look at this. So the bronze, well, it's an improvement for Cambrook. He was 4th on the 100. Now bronze medalist on this 50. Fantastic. Look at that. Silver to Johnny Marshall. And sister presenting brother with the gold medal in the men's 50 metres backstroke at the 2025 Aquatics GB Championships. Tell you what, you need a wide-angle lens for that picture, don't you? Big boys.
Yeah, big shoulders on those lads. It was so nice to see Ollie's sister presenting him with the medals. And I love my sister, Rhian, but she would never have given me a hug on the podium.
Really?
No, that would have been a handshake from Rhian, absolutely.
Would you give me a hug?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Really? Out of courtesy, yeah.
Out of courtesy. Oh, I love this. Look at this. They got the signature Wall of Fame. I love that. The Wall of Champions, it's called. Win a gold at these Aquatics GB 2025 Championships and you get to sign the wall. How fun. Women's 50 fly junior final. And 2 superstars in the centre in 4 and 5 is Theodora Taylor and Sky Carter. Renfrew 1, Kennington 2. Millie Harris from West Norfolk in 3. Last year, bronze medalist in the 16-year-old Summer Championships on this 55. Theodora Taylor, just 16 years of age now. She's won 6 gold medals at the Summer Championships last year in the 15-year-old. Sky Carter, another absolute superstar. In fact, bronze medalist on the 53 here. Sky's in 5. 15-year-old Abigail McInerney in 6 for Inverclyde. 7 Charlotte Smith of Norwich and 8 Miley Aram of Derby.
Take your marks.
The junior final of the women's 50 metres butterfly. And again, allowed the full 15 underwater. Look at the power in lane number 5, Sky Carter. This is impressive. Equal bronze on the 50 metres freestyle. Head down, that orange hat of Basildon and Phoenix. Well, if she can bring this back, this is going to be a super swim. Theodora Taylor starting to come back at her in the white hat in lane number 4. It's going to be close. Carter in 5, Theodora Taylor in 4. Who gets a touch? Oh, my word. 1/100 splits the 2, and it's gone to Sky Carter in 5 from Theodora Taylor in 4. Goodness me. 0.01 split the 2. And I tell you what, it was an awful long way back for 3rd as well. Catherine Renfrew up in lane 1. She was only 7 100ths behind silver. 8 100ths behind the gold, and you get the bronze. What a race that was. Goodness, so close. 1 100 split the top 2.
I love watching races like that, Andy. It makes it so exciting for us spectators. Sky Carter won that on the dive. She looked fantastic. The results of the women's 50-metre butterfly junior final. Sky Carter with an amazing 27.27. Theodora Taylor 2nd. Catherine Renfrew from Perth City in 3rd. Look how close that top 3 is, Andy.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? 0.8 of a second split the top 3. Lifetime best for all 3 of them. Very, very good swimming indeed. What a junior final that was. And Paul Noble joins us again, 15 times Paralympic medalist, 5 times Paralympian. Take us through this one, the women's 50 fly.
Thanks, Andy. Well, there is Iona Winifred, the one and only competitor here in this multi-classification 50 metres butterfly. Well, what a superstar Iona Winifred is. Just age 14. She only turned 14 last week. She was 13 years of age when she went to the Paralympic Games, her Paralympic debut in Paris, taking a silver medal in her #1 event, the 100 metres breaststrokes. 50 metres butterfly tonight. And Iona is on her own here, so looking for some great support from the crowd here in the London Aquatics Centre, as they have done all week. We've seen Ellie Chalice swim on her own, we've seen Harvey Phillips swim on his own, and now it's Iona's turn, and the crowd have been absolutely fantastic. But this young swimmer, well, I say a star of the future, but a star of the present, Iona Winifred. International medalist already, and only just turned 14. It's a very tough qualification standard to make the Singapore Para World Championships.
Take your marks.
Not sure if Iona will do that today, but she'll give it a go, as she does every time she hits the water. Iona Winifred giving absolutely everything. The swimmer from Kent is going there. She's already at halfway point. Iona Winifred, she has a time from the qualification heats of 39.46. Her personal best is 38.30. She's going to have to improve that by quite a margin to be inside the Singapore time, just under the 35 second. But here comes Iona. Can she improve on that heat time? She certainly can. 39.25. A little bit of a shake of the head, but it is an improvement from this morning. And what great support we had from the crowd here in the London Aquatics Centre. Well, we'll wait for confirmation of that. Fantastic swimming from Iona Winifred, soaking up the atmosphere here in this aquatic centre. It's great to see swimmers in the physical impairment classes as well. We don't have many competitors worldwide in this classification, the S7 classification. Iona Winifred, swimmer with short stature, and doing a great job in this 50 butterfly. Watch out for her later in the last couple of days' competition. The breaststroke, very much a focus for her, and the individual medley as well. So watch out for Iona Winifred. She will be back in this London Aquatic Tour later in the week. There's a result confirmed. Iona Winifred takes it. 39.25, 593 multi-classification points, and she's now with Betty.
She is indeed, Iona. You are British champion. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? You went faster than you did this morning. Did you do exactly what you wanted to do out there?
Yeah.
Talk us through. What did your coach tell you to do?
Well, my first 25 this morning was like what it should be. So like my coach was like, just do what you did this morning. And then because like in the heat this morning, I had the able bodies with me, so it was a lot harder because I was getting their wave. So I was like trying focus on the last 25 to try and pull back, and because I won't have any like wave on me.
Well, it certainly worked. And look, you're only 14 years old. You've already been to a Paralympics, which is absolutely outstanding. You're a medalist at the Paralympics as well. But what are your dreams for the future?
Well, my dream this year is to become world champion in Singapore. And then like I want to inspire like young kids to swim as well with disabilities, and like try and make paraswimming a really big sport.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, everybody, give it up for Iona. Well done.
Wow, what a great message for Iona Winifred. And competitions like this are a real showcase for para swimming. And very special medal presenter, Iona's mum, Gillian, who's just been up beside us in the commentary position, listening to the commentary of that race. And there is Gillian Winifred presenting Iona with that gold medal. She is British champion. And that's a great picture for the two Winifreds. Fantastic performance. What a star, Iona Winifred. Great story, Andy, that she actually won a raffle to go to the World Championships in Manchester as a spectator in 2023. A year later, she's at the Paralympics. That's inspiration for you, isn't it?
That is outstanding. What a great story. And whoever put that raffle on, I hope they know about it, because that is brilliant. What a fantastic story that is. Thank you, Paul. Absolutely super. So here we go. Here's the final of the women's 50 metres butterfly. Rebecca Guy's the 8th seed, the slowest into this final, but she's done wonderfully well to do so. Silver in the 53. I don't normally don't normally talk about it. She's 32 years old in lane 8. Well done, you. Harriet Rogers in 7. Here she is. And then in 2, it is Kate Clifton of City of Sheffield with Georgina Pryor of Derby in 1. Blythe Kinsman in lane number 6, 4th fastest seed into this final. European Junior silver medalist in the 50 back, 4th in the 100. This is the 50 fly. And coming up now, Kira Schlossen. Well, she's had a good meet so far. 4th in the 200 fly. And Laura Stevens, world champion women's 200 fly. Didn't swim quite as well here, was bronze medalist on that at these championships, but she's just coming back to fitness after that Olympic Games. And the fastest seed is in lane number 4. It is Eva Akara, the champion on the 50 metres freestyle, the world junior short course record on 50 metres free. And in winning that 50 freestyle here, did a brilliant swim and qualified by right for the 50 freestyle at the World Championships. Well, we've seen her do a wonderful 50 free. What's her fly like?
I think her fly's pretty good. She's going in very highly ranked in this 50 fly final. Ranked number 1.
Well, she certainly is. It's not yet got a qualification time on its own. The British selectors issued that selection policy just before the International Olympic Committee decided that this was going to be an Olympic event in LA. So I'm sure in years to come it will be. That was Laura Stephen, the world champion on the 200 fly. She's in 5. Akara in 4.
Take your marks.
The final of the women's 50 metres butterfly. Kara Schlossen in lane 3, and 4 is Eva Akaro. 5 is Laura Stevens, Blythe Kinsman in 6, but very much in the centre. Such a powerful young lady, this Eva Akaro. Won the 50 metres freestyle, and she's got a fast turnover, but she's holding water well. A little bit of a short stroke, breathing every 2 or 3, well, 3 or 4. But this is good. Head down inside the last 5. Good swim, very good swim. 26.19, new lifetime best for her. Almost half a second ahead of the time that she did this morning, and well, over a quarter of a second faster than her lifetime best. And the double champion, she's done the sprint double, the 53 and now the 50 fly. Silver to Laura Stevens, and Kate Clifton the bronze. But no doubt about the winner. Such great power for such a youngster.
Oh yeah, that was such a great start for Eva. You know, it is important to keep your head down on the first stroke into the fire. It keeps your hips down, minimising the drag, ultimately using that momentum from the dive throughout the rest of the 50.
Well, she shot the lights out on that 50 freestyle to qualify for the team for Singapore in the summer. This is not a qualification event by rights, but I wouldn't be too surprised if she swims that in Singapore as well, because that's a great time. 26.19. Eva Akaro adds gold on this 50 fly to that which she won on the 50 freestyle. Akaro wins the gold, the silver to Laura Stevens, and Kate Clifton the bronze. In fact, double bronze. Kira Schlossen tied the bronze with Clifton. And those 4 now talking to Betty Glover.
What a race that was, and everybody, we have got ourselves a double British champion, because Eva won yesterday and she's won today. Eva, you went 0.4 faster than this morning, which for a 50 is so incredibly difficult. How did you do it?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think fly's just a fun one for me. I don't really train it, so it's quite nice to break up the free events with a bit of fly.
How important is your start to you? Because you went off so quickly.
Yeah, I've been working on my underwaters and my start. I think it just kind of gives me the leg up that I need, especially in 50s.
All right, and you are an incredibly young athlete as well. You've got such a good future ahead of you. What do you really want to achieve over the next year?
Well, I don't like to put a lot of pressure on myself. I like to just kind of see where it takes me. So I just want to achieve what I can, basically.
I'm sure you will. Thank you so much. And everyone, give it up for Eva.
There's the 4 medalists, double bronze in this women's 50 metres butterfly. Kate Clifton and Kira Schlossen, 26.88. Just 6/100ths behind silver. There we go. And the medal's being presented by our Olympic 10-metre platform diver, Kyle Kathari. Fabulous lad he is. And the silver medal going to Laura Stevens, the world champion on the 200 metres butterfly. But no doubt about the winner. A great swim. And the 50 fly double is complete. Eva Okara wins women's 50 metres butterfly. Fascinating quote, she said. I don't really train it unless she won. That's amazing, Dan.
Yeah, Andy, I think that just shows that when the pressure's off and you're just having a bit of fun, sometimes that is when you can do your faster swims.
So here's the men's 100 fly. Brings back memories. Years gone by. This is the junior final of the men's 100 fly. Dean Fern of Aberdeen Dolphins, fastest seed in 4, but he's got some quick guys around him. Charles Sutcliffe, Charles Simpson, second fastest seed from Repton in 5, and Samuel Sutcliffe of Ramsbottom in 3. European junior qualification time 53.42. Now that is possible here, 53.4. They're going to have to do lifetime best to do it, but that is very much possible. There's also a junior in the final, Jack Brown. And what a great opportunity that is for him, making it through to the big final. The experience he's going to get as a junior in that big final, fantastic.
I am sat next to who you're hearing now is Andy Jameson. He's a double Olympian in this event. He's an Olympic bronze medalist in Seoul 1988. So if you want to have any advice in this event from anyone, this is the guy to listen to.
That was a long time ago, but it's lots of fun. Some days very fresh. Junior final men's 100 fly. Fern of Aberdeen, the fastest seed in 4. That's Charles Simpson of Repton in 5, second fastest seed. Excellent entry into the water, and let's see how this burst to the surface is. Very good indeed, and it was Charles Simpson. Well, not only did he burst to the surface, but he used that momentum into those first 2 strokes, head down, and really kept flowing and kept the speed going. Very good indeed from him.
Yeah, head down, hips down, as streamlined as you possibly can. Now leading into this wall now is Dean Fern from Aberdeen Dolphins. 24.72, that is rapid for the first 50.
It really is. Well, he could be going 52 point here if he can bring this back. Lifetime best is 53.6, and he does look good. He's staying nice and flat. This is very good.
He's looking great. He's looking as if he's just speeding up as well into that finish. Can he finish with a straight arms?
Well, let's hope so. 53.64 is his best, and that's a really good swim. 53.6, 53.47. Well done, Dean Fern. That's excellent. Very quick out. And a 53.4 to win it. Dean Fern of Aberdeen Dolphins. Second was Charles Simpson of Repton. And third, Matthew Hamilton of Plymouth College Aquatics. He won it by quite a way in the end. Over a second. 1.03 was the winner, Dean Fern.
Yeah, that was a great swim from Dean, and a great finish as well. Finishing with arms straight. Sometimes it is hard to judge on fly. If you are halfway through the cycle of a stroke, you can kind of hit the wall with your face, it feels like.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world, finishing on your nose. You're about 10 metres out. You should really be spotting it, getting your radar out, spotting the wall, and you can change the length of your stroke a little bit, just a tiny bit, not a lot, just to make sure that when your arms are at full stretch, the wall is right there. That wasn't bad at all. I think he can improve. You saw a little bit of a glide, not a lot though. It was good stuff. He can do even faster, I think. That's the great news for Dean Fern there. Good swim, 53.47 wins it. From Charles Simpson, second, 54.50. And 19/100th back from him. Matthew Hamilton of Plymouth College in third. And here's the para-final in this men's 100 metres butterfly. Paul Noble. There's been some really special swimming here. Slightly surprised that there's slightly fewer qualifiers for the World Para Championships, but the qualification standards are outrageous.
Yeah, really, really tough for these para swimmers. There's been 7 so far that are inside the qualification standard. It's only the first stage of qualification though, Andy. We have got a second stage of qualification at the British Summer Meet, which might suit a few swimmers better because the Paralympics was a little bit later in the year than the Olympics, and some of the Paralympians from Paris got it back in the water a little bit later, so maybe this summer is maybe a little bit better target for some swimmers here. But if you can make it at these championships, all the better. So Mark Thompson coming out now. He's one that's made the qualification standard, setting a European record in the 100 metres backstroke yesterday. He's back in the water again. And there is the favourite, Will Ellard, well ahead of the rest of the field, 56.81 in qualification. He's got to go a little bit faster tonight if he's going to get that qualification standard. He stands at 55.13. Ellard in the centre lane, all S14s with the exception of Rowan Brennan, who's in lane number 8. He's an S10 swimmer. It is a multi-classification, so the times for the swimmers will be compared against standard time, which is roughly equivalent to world record for their classification. 1,000 points would be a world record swim, and the highest number of points will win the medals. So it's all S14s apart from Rowan Brennan, but the target is pretty similar for the S10s as it is for the S14s. So I would expect the swimmers first into the wall would be the medalists. There's Mark Thompson. What form is he in? Harry Stewart in lane 3, going either side of Will Ellard, who very much the favourite for this one. Ellard equalled his own world record in the 100 freestyle a couple of days ago. Can Will Ellard get under that qualification time? Can he break the British record? Can he get close to the world record for this one, held by the Brazilian Gabriel Bandeira at 54.18? So Will Ellard in that middle lane, lane number 4. He's gone out very, very fast. British record split is 25.56, and he's inside that. Will Ellard, it could be on for British European record here, which is held by Rhys Dunn, Paralympian from Tokyo. Let's see if Will Ellard can keep this going. It's very close for second, but Ellard now well ahead of the field. Look at the lead that Will Ellard has got. Absolutely clear water, 2 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field. Let's have a look at the clock into the red zone now. Ellard just tying up slightly, and it's 55.89 for Will Ellard. A fantastic swim, but it just slipped away in the closing stages. Not quite inside that qualification standard of 55.1, but nevertheless, fantastic swim from Will Ellard. Mark Thompson follows him home in 58.79. That's a massive PB for Mark Thompson. And Jude Gunner, the youngster, the 16-year-old, only turned 16 a couple of weeks ago. He's got in for third, 1:33. Big improvement for Jude Gunner. The 2 Norwich swimmers, first and third, split by the European record breaker yesterday from Bolton, Mark Thompson. Well, Ellard, he took it out. What do you think of Ellard's technique, Andy? Looked pretty good. And what a win. There's the result, 910 points, 1,000 points equivalent to the world record. And he is now speaking to Betty Glover on poolside.
Yeah, what about that? Will Ellard is our British champion. Well done, Will. Another medal to add to your tally. But I'm wondering how you found that, because you turned under British record time, sort of tired a little bit towards the end, but you must be feeling great about sort of being able to push that final 50 and really work on that to improve your time.
Yeah, not really happy with the time, but it's over a second off my PB from Paris, but I was feeling good coming into here, so... But I'm having a problem with my hips at the moment. I don't know why I felt it. I tried not to think about it before my race, which I didn't, but it just keeps coming up, so might have to change the trunks, but yeah, it's not too bad. Should be able to go to Singapore hopefully with that time. There's quite competitive boys, and the 54 highs, 54 mids, so yeah, should be able to get down to that in the summer and just keep training.
Well, congratulations, Will, and best of luck, everybody. Give it up for Will, Mark and Jude.
Oh, well done, Will Ellard, an absolute star, Paralympic double gold medalist in Paris. He won the 200 free, and he was part of the 4x100 mixed freestyle relay, which took gold. And another member of the relay team is making these presentations, and that's Poppy Masco. And there she is. She's already made a Singapore time, as has Will Ellard and Mark Tom said. Good job, Poppy. Oh, Poppy Maskell, Will Ellard, boyfriend and girlfriend. Special presentation for these two. And there they are. Well done, Will Ellard. 55.89. He's never happy. He's a perfectionist, Will Ellard. He wasn't happy equaling his own world record. He wanted to beat it.
Well, he did ask me what I thought of his stroke. You nearly got a mouthful of flapjack in reply, I've got to tell you. But
you're turning away from me, Andy.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, your shirt would look significantly different to how beautifully clean it does at the moment. But I've got to say, he's got a cracking stroke. He really does. And if he was saying that his hips aren't particularly good at the moment and may need to change his suit, it's a very good stroke indeed. So he can build on that and build on it very well. So here's the ready room for the men's 100 metres butterfly. What a race this is going to be. And if it wasn't spicy enough on its own, I can tell you that the 100 backstroke and the 100 breaststroke and 100 freestyle's already gone. So the selectors select a time for the medley relay, and if the simple math of adding those 4 times up gets underneath the consideration time for the relay, then that relay will go. So as long as the winner of this race goes under 53.1, that relay will go. So the winner, if they go under 53.1, they will be going to the World Championships. And the great news from Greg Butler is that he was the winner of the 100 breaststroke, so he will go too, even though he just missed the individual qualification time for that 100 breaststroke. What an incentive. Massive. So here is Jack Brown. Jack is a junior. He's in lane number 6. Joe Litchfield, the defending champion, just outside of him in 7. Lewis Fraser in 8. Here in 3 is Nick Finch. And just outside of him is Josh Gammon. And Brodie Gordon Gibson up there in 1. Here, second fastest seed, Jacob Peters. What can he do? He's got the fastest lifetime best in the field of 51.1. And Ed Mildred right next to him, the fastest seed from Manchester. Back to his best. Push Duncan Scott all the way on that 200 fly. This is going to be such an exciting race. Where are the medals going to go?
I don't know, Andy, but we did see Edward win the silver in the 200 fly on day 1. Now, we know he has the endurance in the 200, but has he got the speed to fight Jacob Peters?
Well, Edward is Edward Mildred, and Edward Mildred is in lane 4. He's the fastest seed in this final of the men's 100 fly. Finch in 3. Mildred in 4, Peters in 5, Brown in 6, the defending champion in 7. There he is. This could go absolutely anywhere. I've got to tell you, no idea where it's going. But what I do know is the winner, highly likely to be going to Singapore. sensitive, that is. Doesn't come any higher. The final of the men's 100 fly. Brody Gordon-Gibson, Josh Gammon, Nick Finch, Ed Mildred, Jacob Peters, Jack Brown, Joe Litchfield and Lewis Fraser. Very nervous little wait at the start there for the final of this men's 100 metres butterfly. Ed Mildred of the Manchester Performance Centre in lane number 4, but the better start from Jacob Peters in 5 in that black hat. And these two in the centre started well.
Yeah, great start from Jacob there in lane 5. Now, did miss out on this swim for the Paris Olympics, but he does look as if he's going out to prove a point. Ed Mildred gets to the first 50 in first position, 23.98, but very closely followed by Gammon, 24.04.
Well, there was just 5/100 splitting those first two, but 23.9 is quick. Now charging back up there in 2 is Josh Gammon, but at the moment it is in lane 4, Ed Mildred. Mildred from Peters. Who's going to get the touch? They're all coming back. This is getting very close indeed. This could go absolutely anywhere. Who's going to get the touch? It is... Oh, Ed Mildred's got it. 51.80 from 51.91, 11/100. Mildred over Peters. Oh, my word, that is so close. In fact, it's Mildred over Jack Brown, who's second, the junior. 7/100 split first and second. 4/100 split second and third. Goodness me, 1100 split the top 3. It just doesn't come closer. And what a swim from Ed Mildred, 51.8. And with that title, he is going to Singapore as part of that British team. And that medley relay, wow, wow, wow.
Phenomenal race. I love close races like that. It kind of makes me want to turn my microphone off and just cheer them on, Andy. I get so excited.
Oh, we had a junior go 51.87, the silver medalist there. Jack Brown, goodness me, well, both of them just outside of the individual qualification standard for Singapore if they want to swim the 100 fly alone. But the winner joins those lads on that relay. And so congratulations too to Greg Butler, because he's going. Look at that final, so close. Mildred wins it from Brown second, Peters third, and the times 51.80, 51.87 and 51.91. What a wonderful race that was, brilliant. Over to Betty Glover with the 3 medalists.
Well, that race couldn't have been any closer. How amazing was that? Congratulations, Ed. You are going to Singapore as part of that medley relay team. That must make you feel quite happy.
Yeah, obviously pretty happy with that. It's what I came out here to do. I wanted that QT, but yeah, can't complain with the result.
No, great to be part of that relay team. I can also confirm that Greg Butler, who won the 100-metre breast, is also part of that relay team. So that is a brilliant relay team. But look, you took silver the other day. How amazing is it for you? How pleased are you to get that gold today?
Yeah, happy, yeah. No other way to describe it, yeah. Happy with that.
It's an absolutely stacked race out there, and you were winning in that first 50. Is that something that you went out there to do, to just attack that first 50?
Well, obviously, it's 100 metres, you can't really be out too slow. Probably didn't plan on touching first, if that was the case, but no, obviously, it worked, but yeah, just had to go out there and attack it and see what I could do.
Well, you touched first at the end as well, and that is the thing that matters. Congratulations. Also, congratulations to Jack and Jacob.
What a race, Andy. What a race. Edward Mildred winning that. Oh, what a swimmer. Again, a junior going 51.87. Jack Brown, what a future he has ahead of him. I wonder what he's going to do.
Well, I do wonder what he's going to do. That certainly won't automatically qualify him for the World Championship team. But what it certainly does do is it sends him to the European Junior Championships, because that's way under the qualification time of 53.4. But look at this. These are wonderful moments, these. Jackie Mildred, it's mum presenting the gold medal to her son. And what a proud moment that must be. All the work that the mums and dads do all around the country. I've got to tell you, I know exactly what it is. You don't realise as a swimmer, and then suddenly you have kids of your own and you go, goodness gracious me, massive respect to your parents. So for Jackie to come along and hang that gold medal around her son's neck, and with it a ticket to Singapore, what a proud moment that must be.
It is really emotional to have your parents hand you the medals. My dad gave me my medal last year and I nearly burst into tears.
So did I. And so, well, great news. We're going back to Betty in the studio.
Thanks, Andy. Well, these athletes are absolutely incredible to watch, let me tell you that. And you have a chance to have one of them in your school if you want to, because you can win a swimmer. All you've got to do is scan this QR code that is on your screen now, and it will take you to a web page, and you have the chance to win one of these swimmers, a future Paralympic or Olympic champion, quite possibly to come to your school and talk to the children, talk to everybody about how important swimming is. They could do a class with you, they could go swimming with you, they could teach you loads of different things. That is possible. So scan that QR code, because who doesn't want to win a swimmer?
Well, that sounds like a fantastic competition. Can you imagine? Scan that QR code and enter and get a swimmer to go along to your school. How fun would that be? Wow. I wonder if you can choose anyone. If you could choose, so if you were a high school kid right now, who would you choose to come along to your school? I'm not sure Adam Peaty's in the hunt, so we're going to take him out, but he might be. But who else would you choose to come along to your school? How fun would that be?
What a question. Well, they're all great. They're all amazing inspirations to everyone. Oh, Andy, you put me on the spot here. I don't know. I like them all.
You can't take them all. It's not allowed. It's a bus. There's a bus turned up. Win a swimmer. Here it is. 47-seater coach. A junior final of the women's 400 metres freestyle. And, well, City of Liverpool have just had a fantastic day, and there's 3 more distance freestylers. Distance freestyle, 400 freestyle, am I correct in my definition there, or was that middle distance 400 free?
I'd say it's middle distance.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd say long distance starts when you're talking about 800s, 15.
Well, I'll tell you what, from a 100 metres seat, it's you need binoculars to get to 400, and goodness knows what you need to get to the 8 and the 15. This is the 400 metres freestyle junior final for women. Sophie Benn of Mount Kelly's the fastest seed. 17-year-old in lane number 4. Kerry Henney, City of Liverpool in the 5. Lucy Parsons of City of Liverpool in 6. And the third City of Liverpool swimmer in lane 1, Madison Wren. So they've really got this, they've got them surrounded here. But very quick up this first 20 metres. Love to see how these swimmers do it, particularly the youngsters. They will be learning all sorts of things here. Fascinating to listen to Duncan Scott when he came in the commentary box straight after his race this morning, the 200 medley. And we were talking to him, and he said, oh, I'm going to do some fun events, but I'm going to learn. I learn every single time I swim. I learn something. And he writes it down. He's got it very, very specific in his head. It's fascinating. Someone of that caliber, 8 times Olympic medalist, and he's looking to learn something specific every time he swims.
Yeah, I mean, every race is different. Now, let's say Duncan went into a 200 freestyle and he wanted to try something new to obviously lower the time, and he thought it didn't work. Then he's learning something. He's learning, right, I'm not going to do that again because that didn't work out.
Well, it really struck me, because I do know he does that, but it was just the discipline and the frankness and the simplicity, really. It's not complicated. I'm going to try and go out faster. I'm a 200 fly. Well, how are you going to do that? And he works out how to do it with his new coach, Ben Hickson, and they just sit down and work that out, and then he goes and tries it. very simple, very straightforward, but for such a superstar to do the basics so well, very, very interesting. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, me too. And you know, this race is all about pacing. Now, Sophie Ben, from Mount Kelly has gone out quite quick. This race is all about pacing. You can't go out like a rocket and expect to come back like them, but you also need to go out strong enough so you give yourself the best chance to have energy to push on for that last 50, because it could come down to the last metre who wins it.
Well, certainly could. And this is the halfway turn in this junior final, the women's 400 metres freestyle. It's the 200 metres turn, and they're quite a lot faster than they were this morning, under 2:07. That is Phoebe Arbuckle of Warrender Baths Club in lane 3, and she's a very good distance freestyle as well. 5th in the 1500 metres freestyle, 5th overall, not 5th junior, 5th overall. So she's got some back end on her as well. This is very exciting, the red hat in the centre. Ben's starting to come back though now in 4.
Yeah, I think she's taken a lead. I just saw a complete difference in her stroke. If you watch her on screen now, you can see there's a bit of anger in her stroke. She's really putting everything that she has into her stroke. Her hands are entering like needles, which creates less drag, and she's long in the water. The aim as a distance swimmer is to look 9 foot tall. And the longer you are, the more pull you've got, the more water that can carry you through.
Well, I love that analogy. Nice and tall, rangy stroke, try and be as efficient as possible. Interesting tactics. She went out very quickly, then she sort of shut it down a little bit, and now she's gone off like a shot again. It's almost like she's got lots of different speeds here, and 100 metres to go in this junior final of the women's 400 metres freestyle. First over, Sophie Ben of Mount Kelly, and she's swimming really well. It's an interesting tactical race, but it's very effective so far. In second, it's Kerry Henny of City of Liverpool, and in third, Phoebe Arbuckle of Warrender Baths Club.
Yeah, but also like Sophie Ben going here, you know, she knows she's comfortable, she knows she's in front. You can hear the horns in this crowd. Now Sophie will be able to hear that, even though your head's underwater. There's a lot of noise in this room tonight. I think this could be the loudest night of the week, and she can hear it, and you can really hear it now on this last 50. She looks as if she's just speeding up. She's looking around to the rest of the field. She knows she's won it. She just needs to enjoy this last 25.
Well, she's swimming very well here. A lifetime best 4:19.6. And I think she's going to destroy that. I really do. This is an excellent swim from young Sophie Ben of Mount Kelly. 5th on the junior final 200 metres freestyle. And the 200 has gone up to the 400 and really done well. Wow, look at that. 2.5 seconds lifetime best from Sophie Ben of Mount Kelly, winning the junior final of the women's 400 metres freestyle. Wonderful stuff. Kerry Henny of City of Liverpool, she got the silver, the second place in this junior final. And then Matilda Potter, the bronze, she comes in third. And, well, that time that she's done, 2:17.2, would have got her in 6th in the big final. Lots of lessons for these juniors. Really get up in the morning and try and swim well, because that was an outstanding swim. But, you know, if she could have done that this morning, she'd have been in the big final with the big guns. Sophie Ben wins the junior final. Mount Kelly, well done.
Top 3 girls in that event all had PBs. Now the winner of the 400 free, as we can see in the result there, Sophie Ben, Mount Kelly. Second, Kerry Henny, and then the third goes to Matilda Potter from City of Leeds.
Oh, there we go. Well, Paul, just tell me what that chap's got in his nose, will you?
That's Andy Sharp, coach from Northampton. That's the tapping stick for the 2 Humphrey sisters. We speak to you, Dan, earlier on about the tappers this morning, weren't we? About the training of Scarlett and Eliza Humphrey. Swimmers with no vision at all. They wear blacked out goggles in competition. And I was trying to catch them today to ask them about their training, but I caught another one of my Northampton spies. And they were saying, yeah, they do have tappers in every training session that they use. I knew some of the swimmers that I knew previously in the S11 classification, some of them didn't have tappers. They used lanes, used markers on the lanes, etc. Not in every session, but the Humphreys have volunteers to tap in every training session. They're in the same lane, so it doesn't mean that have to have double contingent of tappers every time, but Liza and Scarlett Humphrey have tappers in all the training sessions.
Can I ask you a stupid question? Does the tapper stay at one end and there's another tapper at the other, or does the tapper run up and down every time?
No, I think there's one at each end.
Thank goodness, I was just thinking he's going to get his steps up, isn't he?
That's an accident waiting to happen, isn't it?
Well, maybe a stupid question, but I could just see some poor chap going 100 miles an hour.
There's the finalists as Faye Rogers completes the lineup for this one. Scarlett Humphrey and Eliza Humphrey in the outside lanes. Brooklyn Hale and Evie Lambert on the inside lanes in 2 and 7. Moving in towards the middle, Callie-Ann Warrington and Brock Whiston with Faye Rogers and Astrid Carroll in the centre. There's the classifications. It's multi-classification. There will be a points total at the end of this particular final. The highest point total from the heats was Faye Rogers. A very impressive 852. Remember, 1,000 points equivalent to a world record swim, so 852 is a big points total for Faye Rogers. Brock Whiston is the only other one into the 800 range. And there is Astrid Carroll, and that's Brock Whiston. In between the two Paralympians is Astrid Carroll, the 16-year-old. Evie Lambert, the 17-year-old. What can she do in this S9 classification multi-class? There's Brock Whiston getting supported on the block by her coach. Para swimmers are allowed to have adaptations at the start. They are allowed to be held in position if that's agreed by the referee. Not, of course, allowed to add propulsion to the swimmer. Brock Whiston getting held there at the start, and she's going very well in lane number 6. Brock Whiston may have a chance of trying to achieve the Singapore qualification standard for her own classification. She's got to dip under the 5-minute mark, Brock Whiston. She's got to go 4:58.10. Faye Rogers out in front of the field. Well, she's got a tougher target. She has less of an impairment than Brock Whiston, and she's got to go 4:34.80.
Paul, I got a few questions for you. First question, I asked them this morning, but the first question was, we're seeing Scarlett Humphrey in lane 1, and her twin sister, Eliza Humphrey, in lane 8. What do you think about that sibling rivalry? How do you think lunch would have been today? Think it would have been a bit cold?
They are very used to it, the two Humphrey sisters. They're really top performers. Both of them Paralympic finalists in this particular event. And, yeah, they have rivalry. Of course they do. Eliza was the British record holder in this event until her sister took it. And, yeah, she wants it back. At the moment, after 100, Scarlett Humphrey 117, Eliza Humphrey 119. And, yeah, Scarlett's got the edge at the moment, but Eliza's not finished yet. And you might be interested, Dan, that the Humphreys family, Humphrey's mum is from Wales, and Eliza Humphrey's chosen to swim for Wales.
Oh, well done, Eliza.
There you go.
I know who I want to win this race.
Faye Rogers out in front as she comes down to the halfway point. Well, Faye Rogers, we saw her a couple of days ago. The 200 metres butterfly world record. Faye Rogers is one who swam in the Olympic trials here for the Tokyo Olympics. She had an accident shortly after those trials and thought she would never swim again. She's come now into para swimming. She has that arm impairment, and she won the gold medal in the Paralympic Games in Paris last year in the 100 butterfly.
Oh, phenomenal. Now, also, Paul, talk about classification. So we know that S11 to S14 is for visual impairment. Now, there's S11s here with Scarlett and Eliza, but we do see Astrid Carroll in lane 5, S12, still visual impaired.
Yeah.
Are they going to be fighting for? Are they going to be fighting for the same medal here?
No, well, they will be, because it's multi-classification at this competition, but Astrid will be looking for the... She's got a standard time for the S12 classification. When they go to the major competitions, all the classifications are split out. So the S11s have their own race, and the S12s have their own race as well. out for Astrid Carroll, though. She's one that's coming through the ranks. She's visually impaired. She has some vision, but she has a visual impairment, as Faye Rogers goes over at 300. 324 for Faye Rogers. But, yeah, one to watch, I think, Astrid Carroll. We'll watch out for her in the future. Just 16 years of age. Well, as Faye Rogers goes out of the picture, the others are coming into the turn. Again, it's multi-classification, so we have to wait until the final swimmers are finished before we know exactly who has the highest number of points and who will claim that British title. But Faye Rogers, I think, Dan, is going to be away and clear here, and I think she could claim the title with this swim. She's not always the swimmer that touches the wall first that has a higher number of points, but in this case, I think it might be. Well, let's see what Faye Rogers can do. She has that qualification standard to achieve of 4:34.80. You know what? It's not going to be a million miles away, is it? The clock ticking over here, just on the 4:30 mark for Faye Rogers. Into the final 5, and it is 4:34.24, and that is a new British record for Faye Rogers. Well, excellent swim there from Faye Rogers, and it is inside the qualification standard as well for Singapore Para World Championships. 892 points for Faye Rogers. That was absolutely excellent. Kellyanne Warrington now coming in to touch ahead of Brock Whiston, and let's check Brock's time. Just outside the qualification standard of 4:58.10. So another great swim there from Brock Whiston. She'll have her better events to come later in the week, so don't worry about Brock Whiston. She'll be back. Scarlett Humphrey, she's a British record holder in the S11 class. Remember, this is a swimmer with no vision at all. She is ahead of her sister. 5:29.51 for Scarlett Humphrey. Eliza coming in at 5:35.08. But a big smile on the face of Faye Rogers, and she worked that really hard into the end. Thumbs up for Faye Rogers. Kellyanne Warrington found that tough. I spoke to her earlier. She was hoping to dip under 5 minutes. 5:01 for Kellyanne Warrington. The black tuck goggles will have to be checked before this result is made official. But Faye Rogers, she swam away from the field in the early stages. That was absolutely superb for Faye Rogers. What a week she is having. World record in the 200 metres butterfly. And there she is. She's realised, looking at that scoreboard, and that is a great reaction from Faye Rogers. 4:34.24, the qualification standard achieved for Singapore. A British record as well for Faye Rogers. There's the black tuck goggles being checked for Eliza Humphrey. 5:35 for Eliza. That's an improvement from her heat time. Results are now confirmed. Faye Rogers top on points, 892 points. Her Paralympic teammate in second, 828 points. And look at that, the youngster, Brooklyn Hale from Cockermouth, who was up getting some advice from Andy Jameson a couple of days ago. She's only got herself a British bronze medal. Well, fantastic from Brooklyn Hale. That time, 5:04.35. A 6-second lifetime best in a British final. Scarlett Humphrey just missing out on the medals with 710 points. Evie Lambert in 5th position. Just splitting the two Humphrey sisters with Kellyanne Warrington and Astrid Carroll. All the swimmers in 600 points and above. But there was no catching Faye Rogers there. 892 points. Absolutely fantastic swim from Faye Rogers. A swimmer, a world record earlier this week, and now a British record here in this 400 metres freestyle. And now we can go now to Betty on poolside.
Yeah, Faye Rogers is our British champion, and she's done it in some style as well. That is a new British record. And you were 4 seconds quicker than you were this morning, which was a PB. So how on earth did you manage that?
Honestly, I've got no idea. I just watched my race back from this morning and identified bits that I thought could be quicker, and then really focused on them in the final, and it obviously paid off. So,
talk us through that race then, because it looked like you just executed that perfectly.
Thanks. I mean, like I said, it was just all like watching this morning and learning from it, and this morning was pretty much on my PB, so I was super happy with that anyway. So it was just a case of like watching it back and then really working on the areas that like weren't great. So yeah.
Well, you certainly did that. You've also made that Singapore consideration time, so you must be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I didn't expect to get that one. Obviously 100 fly is my target event, but it really takes the pressure off for tomorrow now, so I'll just go out and enjoy that now.
Well, congratulations. Everyone give it up for Faye, Brock and Brooklyn.
Well, yeah, Faye Rogers, 100 fly, the focus for Faye Rogers. Ben Rogers is making the presentations. Faye's brother, he's also swimming at these championships. So there is Brooklyn Hale, the young swimmer, with a really bright future. That was fantastic for Brooklyn Hale from Cockermouth. There's Brock Whiston, well, just missing out on that Singapore consideration time for the S8 classification. But as I said, she'll be back later in the week. But there we go, brother and sister. Faye Rogers, 892 points. That is a quality swim from Faye Rogers. A British record, her second record of the week. And the Singapore qualification standard achieved, making her the 8th person to do that in the World Para Swimming events this week.
Well, there is the ready room for this next race. After those fantastic para swimmers, goodness me, they are putting in some performances. A couple of world records, 3, I think, European records, British records. But the stress in this ready room, I've got to say, lots and lots of people leave their race in that ready room. It's part to a lot of swimmers don't actually practice going in the ready room.
Yeah, and I think it is important to, I was speaking to Chloe Tutton a few years ago, and she was saying that before her Olympic final, she used to train, and before she walked out into her normal training session back home in Cardiff, she used to play a certain song. And she played the same song walking out into her Olympic final in Rio.
Oh, very sensible indeed, isn't it? That's such a good idea. So this is the final of the women's 400 metres freestyle. And here's Holly Hibbert. She goes in lane number 6, 4th fastest seed into this final. She's been in World Championship finals before. 2 European gold medals as well, silver and a couple of bronzes. In 3, it's Lucy Fox of Loughborough Performance. Just outside her, Megan Barnes of Mount Kelly. And then Fleur Lewis, outstanding distance freestyler. Silver on the 1500 metres freestyle here. Polly Wilson of City of Leeds in lane number 5. 2nd fastest qualifier for this final. 4th on the 1500. Can she go at least one better and get a medal here? And if so, what colour? And the fastest seed, well, what a couple of years she's had. Just turned 16. Emily Bloxage from Salford, the fastest seed. And she is in lane 4 in this women's 400 metres freestyle final. Won her 3rd straight 1500 metres title at the British Championships this year. European junior champion on the 8 and the 15, Bloxage. Amy Monks in 7 and Phoebe Cooper, the junior, in lane 8. So 3 juniors in here. Fastest, 2nd fastest and 8th fastest. What a field. Women's 400 freestyle final. Bloxage is the fastest seed, the champion on the 15. Can she add the 4 to that? Well, she's won the 800 metres freestyle and the 1500 metres freestyle at the senior championships, but she's never won this, the 400 metres freestyle. And as an 8:15 specialist, Stan, what have you got to do to bring it down to a 400?
It is a completely different event, you know. 400, it's a killer. There's no other way to put it, Andy. It is a killer. If you don't pace it right, you are going to suffer for it the second half.
It's a sprint.
It's a sprint.
It's not a sprint. It's a heck of a long, it's 8 lengths. Goodness me, well, I tell you, who's going out very fast indeed here is Holly Hibbett. She is the class of the field in terms of lifetime bests. And when she was back on her best at the World Championships a few years ago, my goodness me, in the final there, individual bronze medal at the European Championships on this 400 metres freestyle. But she looks good here. Great to see her back in the big finals.
Yeah, Holly's a lovely, lovely person. I went to the European Juniors with Holly back in 2014 in the Netherlands, so I've stayed in good contact with her. She's lovely.
Yeah, family's family as well. Her dad's up there in Southport. Got a little swimming school, I think, and does very well indeed. So Holly Hibbett leading, the rest of the field very close indeed. It looks like maybe Phoebe Cooper, one lane, right at the bottom of the screen from City of Sheffield. Yeah, just coming second. She is in lane 8. That's interesting. The 17-year-old, the junior. So first over is Hibbett, second is Phoebe Cooper, and then up there in lane 2, Megan Barnes of Mount Kelly. So they're really all over the pool here down this first half, the first 200.
Yeah, it is great to see Holly take this out so strong. She usually does, but then drops back a little bit during the second 100. But I think she's shown us here how much she wants it. She's not letting those girls pass her.
Well, coming up to the halfway stage in this final, the women's 400 metres freestyle, and if Amelie Bloksic is going to win it, she's got some work to do in lane number 4. She must be about 3 or 4 seconds back at the moment, I think. Well, actually, it's 2.5 seconds, so it's not that much. That's definitely possible to catch up, but Hibbett going well. She started well as Holly Hibbett. This is a very good first half. What's she got left? Has she gone out too quickly? She still looks pretty good.
She does look pretty good. I think she could have nailed this pace into perfection. You know, she has got 150 metres left, and it is the hardest 150 to come, but she's looking great. Now, we already know how tough these ladies are. I've been on camps, many Aquatics GB distance camps with these ladies, some of the hardest training weeks of my life, but these girls just seem to take it on the chin. Now and again, I have to empty my goggles full of tears, Andy.
When they swim over the top of you, I tell you what, it's happened to me a few times as well. You distance guys, you're brutal. Up there is Megan Barnes of Mount Kelly in lane number 2, and she's suddenly putting in a very big third 100. Tactically, this is really interesting, but the big guns in the centre starting to lurk now. This is ominous. It looks like up there in lane number 2, Megan Barnes is first to turn, but the charge is coming, and it's coming hard. Another good turn from Holly Hibbett down here in lane 6, so it's 2 and 6. And look at the charge in the centre. The yellow hat of Amelie Bloksic, the 1500 metres freestyle champion. She's making a move, but she's still got quite a lot to do, you know.
She's got a lot to do, but she can do it. As we said, she is the champion in the 1500. She's got amazing endurance, and it looks like she's got the speed as well.
So 50 metres to go in this final of the women's 400 metres freestyle, and it's very, very close. It's still Barnes up there in 2 from Mount Kelly. A very brave swim, but look at the charge from Bloksic in 4.
Barnes is looking to her left. She's looking at Amelie Bloksic. Is she going to keep her apart? But Amelie Bloksic is charging on this last 25.
Oh, this is going to be so tough. The speed that Bloksic has got here, it's coming from nowhere, but can Megan Barnes hold on? The Mount Kelly swimmer up there in lane number 2. She went very early, and this is a super brave swim. Who's going to get the touch? I think she's got it. She has. Oh, my word. What a brave swim. Well, if anyone ever deserves a gold medal at the National Championships on a 400 metres freestyle, it's someone who swims it as bravely as that. From lane number 2, she's just realised she's won. Well done, Megan Barnes of Mount Kelly. 4 minutes 12.66, destroyed her lifetime best by 4 seconds, and she's national champion on the women's 400 metres freestyle. What a race.
Oh, Andy, that was so exciting, especially that last 10 metres. Amelie Bloksic was charging like a train, but Megan Barnes managed to hold her off to get that gold medal. That was so exciting. And I think, as she touched the wall, I think she was too tired to smile. I don't blame her.
Nor do I. I'd still be in the pool floating, I tell you. That was such a brave. Love the bravery, love the attack, the tactics, wonderful. I mean, that's a very, very well tactically swum race that was. That was Bloksic in the centre, the youngster, the 16-year-old. Well, I'm sure she's got plenty more to learn on these 400s. I think she's getting used to the 8 and the 15, but still an awful lot to learn on something as short as this.
Yeah, she's looking really strong. Holly did go out like a rocket, you know. She came 4th in that, but what a swim from Holly as well, you know. But that finish, unbelievable. I'm so happy for these girls, and these girls are going to grow up together. They're going to carry on their careers together, and I think these two are going to constantly have I think these two girls are going to have a few fights on their hands in the future.
Figuratively speaking, of course. Well, look at that. That's just, well, 12-100 split first and second. Megan Barnes, the new national champion of the women's 400 metres freestyle from Mount Kelly. What a swim that was. Bloxage the silver, Holly Wilson the bronze, and they're now talking to Betty Glover on poolside.
Oh, what a race that was. Megan, you got that first touch. Did you think you had it?
Honestly, no. I thought Amelie was well ahead of me because I could see the splashing at the start.
I bet you did. Could you see her in your peripheral, literally right at the end?
No, I couldn't see anything.
Talk us through that race from your perspective then. Did you target that exactly how you wanted to?
I didn't really have a plan coming into this. I'm used to swimming in America for the 500-yard distance. So every time I pass the middle of the pool, I'm like, just imagine there's a wall. Yeah, I just wanted to go out there and see what I could do.
Look, you came 7th in this last year. So what has happened between now and then?
Honestly, this has been one of the hardest seasons of training I've ever done. They put me in like the distance group, which I actually hated to begin with, but it's obviously paid off.
Yeah, it's clearly worked. Amelie, I just want to quickly get a word from you because that was so incredibly close. What was going through your mind in those last few seconds?
To be honest, just kick. Because I know that would make me faster on the last bit. So I just really tried to catch and I was just closing the gap. It was just so close.
It was so close. Brilliant experience, though. Congratulations to everyone. Megan, Amelie and Holly.
Well, that was an absolutely brilliant race. There's the Mount Kelly team. And goodness me, still hard to believe that it unfolded as it did. Tactically brilliant. And here, well, this is very important for the sport of swimming and the sport all over. Al Ruxton presenting the medals here from the National Lottery, and what an enormous difference lottery funding makes to all the athletes all around the world, but particularly, well, all the British athletes, so they can go all around the world and compete on the international stage. And I know you've benefited from it as well, Dan.
I have. I'm so grateful to the lottery funding that I had, because life is expensive, you know, and this sport is expensive. And the lottery funding helps you be able to do everything and still train at your best.
Well, every ticket that is bought goes directly to helping our athletes perform. And it's wonderful to see. So thanks to Al and thanks to the National Lottery. What a great race that was. The gold on the women's 400 freestyle goes to Megan Barnes, right in the centre there of Mount Kelly. Amelie Bloxage adding silver to that 1,500 metres gold she won. And the bronze, well, it was a super bronze to Holly Wilson of Leeds.
Megan Barnes there, winning from lane 2, which is sometimes seen as an outside lane, so it's nice to see. Don't discount them.
Indeed, don't discount them. Well, here's the ready room for the junior final of the men's 200 IM. And this is going to be fun, and delighted to be joined again by Tom Dean, triple Olympian, dancer on the telly. And actually, I've got to tell you, even though he is triple Olympic champion in 100 metres freestyle and 2 lots of 4x2 free relay, he's very, very good on the 200 medley.
Not too bad on the 200 medley. No, it's great to be back, Andy. Really, really excited about the junior and, of course, the senior 200 medley final tonight.
And in terms of 200 medley, this is the junior final, and you performed on the junior stage and did very well, huh?
I did. So I got 2 European junior titles in the 200 medley, one in Netanya, Israel in 2017, and then backed up in Helsinki in Finland in 2018. So I know this race very, very well.
Good stuff. Well, here is the full lineup for the junior final of the men's 200 medley. Evan Davison, the fastest seed from Perth City Swimming Club, from the Strathallan School. And Elaine Johnson is his coach there. Philip Novacki of Millfield in 5. In 3, it's Daniel Ransom of City of Leeds. Llewellyn Porter in lane 6. That's Novacki, the second fastest seed into this junior final, the men's 200 medley. We've got 2 bronze medals, one in the 50 breaststroke, one in the 100, so expect that breaststroke leg to be lightning for the green hat there in the centre of Millfield School. That's Novacki. Davison of Perth, fastest seed in 4. The junior final, the men's 200 medley at this 2025 Aquatics GB Championships. And a very good start indeed in lane number 6. That is Llewellyn Porter of Camden Swiss Cottage. On a 200 freestyler, your main event, but also on this, how much do you focus on the starts and the turns? Do you do lots of practice on those?
We do quite a bit of practice. Mostly it's an aerobic event, so the cardio becomes the most important thing, but your starts, your turns, and especially your underwaters are vital in this race.
Well, it's certainly working well so far. And there's the backstroke leg. A lovely backstroke. Let's just have a look at the technique here, Tom, because tactically, obviously, try and get the most out of your best events. But right at the top there, going well from the city of Leeds, really working this backstroke leg.
Yeah, watch the guys who the backstroke isn't their strength, because they're going to be picking their rate up. That's the way they're going to be able to get a fast backstroke split. It won't be the same for all of them. The ones who need to get a quick time, they're going to be really rating on that backstroke leg.
Super turn there, that back to best flip. Now let's see what happens, because I always found this the brutal part. I was rubbish at breaststroke. You clearly had a decent breaststroke, but look at this. Let's have a look at the technique of the leader up here in lane number 3 from City of Leeds, Dan Ransom.
Yeah, look at Dan. He's got a really high stroke. He's tucking his elbows in very, very nicely and leaning on that breaststroke kick. Hopefully he's going to build into this wall and have a strong finish on the freestyle.
Well, he's got about 55 metres to go, and he's swimming very well here. If he's got any kind of freestyle, this is going to be a really quick swim. First over is Ransom, Novacki second, the breaststroker, Davison third, Orpin fourth. Now the charge is on. What are they thinking here with about 40 to go?
It is head down, legs going, rate up. This is the most exciting part of the IM. I can't wait to see this finish.
Well, it is a great finish, and they are charging. Look at this, Evan Davison, the red cap in the centre. He's having a go. Philip Novacki in the green cap closest to us is having a go. They're having a go at Ransom. Daniel Ransom. Daniel Ransom of the City of Leeds is going to win it. Yes, he does. Right on the touch. 2:02.92. That's a really good swim from him. 2:02.9 wins the junior final of the men's 200 IM. It's 3 seconds faster than he went this morning, and I can also tell you that as a junior he's just gone 3/100ths of a second inside the cut for the European Junior Championships, which have been held in Slovakia for later on this summer. So a super swim from him. Look at that, 2:02.92. 9.5 was the qualification time. Well done, Daniel. Novacki second, Evan Davison third. What a race that was. Well, he swam it tactically perfectly, didn't it? Pushed the back of the breast and held on.
He swam a fantastic race. I love watching the finish on this freestyle, and it felt exactly like I've seen a few races unfold where people are breathing down their neck. Great job, Daniel.
What time did you go as a junior, Tom?
I was 2:01 at my first juniors, and I dipped under to 1:59 as a 17-year-old. So still the British age group record, I believe, and luckily held on for another season.
You were good. You were very good. Well, here is the ready room for the powers. I love this part. I've got to tell you, watching all these guys here, Paul, is it as nerve-wracking for you sitting here as it used to be when you were swimming?
No, probably not, actually. I quite liked the ready room, actually. I was quite, I wanted to be aware. Some people put their headphones on, they lose themselves in music, but I wanted to be aware of what was going on and to see my competitors, look them in the eye, so to speak. Here's Bruce D coming out now. He's the only non-S14 swimmer in this one. He goes in lane number 1 on the outside. Jack Milne, we see in lane number 7. There's Jason van der Merwe, one of the young up-and-coming stars of GB Para Swimming. We saw Nathan McManus go through in lane number 8. Harry Stewart back in the water again. What a very strong breaststroker he is. Harry Stewart, the man from Plymouth College Aquatics. Dylan Broom from Swansea University Swim Club. He goes in lane number 3. He may feature in the shake-up for the medals here. Cameron Burncombs certainly will be there or thereabouts, the Paralympic representative in Paris. And there is Rhys Darby, Paralympic silver medalist, World Championship silver medalist. Rhys Darby from Cambrian Aquatics Academy. There's the classifications, SM14, right across the board with the exception of Bruce D, who goes in lane 1 in the SM6 classification. It's SM is the prefix because it's a medley event, SB in the breaststroke, and S for all the other events. So this is the final of the men's multi-classification 200 individual medley. There's Rhys Darby. Great chance for him to dip under the Singapore qualification standard. Rhys Darby. His lifetime best is at 208.61. He's got to go 209.25. He's got to be within half a second of his lifetime best if he's going to make that qualification standard. Well, watch out for him. The major championships, Rhys Darby, he's been absolutely fantastic, but he swims this 200 individual medley. He builds right through. At the World Championships, he got silver in the 200 IM. His position, he was 8th after the fly, 6th after the backstroke, 5th after the breaststroke, and came through to take the silver. That's the way he swims this individual medley. He was behind with the butterfly in the early stages. Next to him is Cameron Verncoom, very strong breaststroker, Cameron Verncoom. But Rhys Darby is the man who has been in control of this individual medley for the last couple of years. Just check the splits as he goes through at the halfway point. 101.01. Well, he's there or thereabouts. Rhys Darby giving himself a chance. Cameron Verncoom will be alongside him on the breaststroke, and that could give him some impetus, Rhys Darby, because Cameron, very strong breaststroker, but when it comes to the freestyle, Rhys Darby usually takes control. We'll come back to Bruce D a little bit later on. He might have a chance of making that qualification time himself. He's got to have a lifetime best to do so in 2:40, but we'll come back to Bruce in the outside lane after the conclusion of the swimmers in the middle. Rhys Darby, 138.95. He's right on pace here. Cameron Verncoom just slipping back, but here goes Rhys Darby now into the final stages of this one. I wonder if Rhys Darby can get under this time. This would be great if he can. 209.25 is the target. The clock just ticking over at the 2-minute mark. Rhys has got to dig in now. Come on, Rhys, get under that time. 209.25, and he has done it. 208.49 for Rhys Darby. He's under the qualification standard for Singapore. The celebrations on the poolside. I think he's murmuring alongside us. Look at that points total, 942. Let's check Bruce D though. It's not all over yet. In lane number 1 at the top. Here comes Bruce. Can he get close to his time of 240.10? I think it's going to slip by, but not by much. What a great swim from Bruce. Very close to his lifetime best. 244.26. But well done, Rhys Darby at the front of the field. Bruce D will have a big points total for that. That'll put him in the shake-up for the medals. 878 points, I think, for Bruce D. And that'll get him a bronze medal. Cameron Verncoom just pipping him for the silver medal position. But Rhys Darby, fantastic swim there, 208.49. His mom alongside us, she hasn't calmed down yet. She's still dancing about. She is absolutely Carol Darby, getting herself ready for the medal presentation. But there's Rhys Darby. How strong was he in the closing stages? 208.49 for Rhys Darby. That's a lifetime best for Rhys Darby to dip under that qualification standard. Cameron Verncoom will take the silver medal 881 points, and Bruce D 878 points. Well, 1,000 points equivalent to a world record swim. The high 800s and in the 900-point range. That's absolutely superb performance from these swimmers.
What a race that was. And Rhys Darby, you've made that Singapore qualification time. You didn't do it this morning. You did it then. The pressure was on. Did you expect to do that?
A little bit. I mean, after the heat swim, I felt quite, relaxed a bit. I think I was a bit too nervous going into this morning's swim. And I think I kind of coped with the pressure a lot going into that final, so quite happy with that.
You really did, and you had Cameron that was really pushing you. Could you sense where he was, sense he was behind you?
Yeah, I mean, I could see Cam like half the race like he usually do. He's a great racer, so...
Really well done. Well, congratulate everyone to Rhys, Cameron and Bruce.
Medal ceremony now from Rhys's mum, Carol Darby, who's just about calmed down, I think. He was right behind us here, and she was going absolutely crazy there behind us. What a fantastic swim. Really proud of the performance from Rhys. Bruce D. Good swim from Bruce. He's had a couple of good swims this week. Cameron Burncombe to 11:40. Well done, Cameron. He's been improving all year. Another Paris Paralympian. All three of these medalists went to the Paralympic Games in Paris last year. And Rhys Darby, well, congratulated by his mom, Carol Darby. These medal presentations with the parents and the family, they're fantastic, aren't they, Andy?
Well, it is wonderful to see the reactions as well. As always great, isn't it? Do you get a kiss? Do you get a hug? Do you get a mom? Wonderful stuff.
Get off, Mom.
Love it. She went nuts when he did the time. That was wonderful to see. This morning, after Charlie Hutchison's heat, Betty Glover caught up with him.
Charlie, well done. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, it was a good swim. I didn't want to leave anything up to chance this morning, so I wanted to lay down a good mark this morning. There's a lot of Scottish swimmers in the heats this morning, so it could be have a top four of maybe all Scottish swimmers. So it's going to be a good race for this evening.
Look, you got the silver in the 400 IM. What do you think's possible in the 200 against, the likes of Duncan Scott?
I think winning it might be a bit of a stretch, but at least getting on the podium, I think, is a potential tonight. But like I said, there's some fierce racers. All our Scottish boys are going to be competing for this at Commies next year, so whoever wins tonight is a good set for next year, and hopefully I can be one of those.
And you're feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good. That was nice and easy this morning. Not out of breath at all.
Oh, perfect. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, that is Charlie Hutchinson. What a character he is. Fabulous chap. What do you think he can do on this 200 medley here, Tom Dean?
I cannot wait to watch him, Matt Ward and Evan Jones go head-to-head. They're all knocking on the door of that sub-2-minute swim. I think he could do something quite special.
Well, it's going to be a fun one, this. It really is. Duncan Scott, the fastest seed, is in lane number 4. 2-times Olympic silver medalist on this, the 200 medley. There's Oscar Bilbao with his Arizona State tracksuit and Hassan. Look at that. Fresh out of Tempe, Arizona. He's in lane 1, 7th fastest seed for this final. Swim for Repton here. Toby Godstall of Millfield in lane 8, and next to him there's David Annis. Was 19 years of age on Monday, and his birthday. He's from Stirling. And then Alex Casey in lane 2 from Loughborough University. Third in the B final of the 100 metres breaststroke. And the breaststrokers here really important. Now, Charlie Hutchinson, well, here he is. He's a proper character, isn't he? He's loving life. He's loving everything about it. Swam a really good 400 medley. What can he do here? Evan Jones in lane 3 from Manchester. That's a wonderful team they've got there now. They really do with Ryan Livingston. It's going to be tough as. Well, the two guys in the centre, you know them both well, Tom Dean. Matt Ward in 5 and then Duncan Scott in 4.
Can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. This race is going to go off and Duncan's going to be strong. I just know it.
Be interesting to see how they decide to swim, particularly Duncan Scott, because he played very differently with his tactics on the 200 fly. Never seen him go out so fast on that, and it worked really well.
Watch how strong his fly is on this event because he's going to want to pull away from Matt. Matt's got such a strong backstroke here.
And when you're doing a medley like this, you can see Duncan Scott, double Olympic silver medalist on this race. When you're doing it, if you've got a really strong stroke like backstroke, do you work it super hard because you're good at it, or work it medium because you've got to save you've still got breast and freestyle?
You've got to react to what other people are doing in the race. So Duncan always tries to pull ahead from me because he knows how strong my second 100 is. It'll be interesting if he does the same thing to Matt tonight.
Well, that will be interesting because if he saves it for the second 100, that means easier on the fly back. We saw him go super quick on the fly at the start of the 200 fly. So well, there is Charlie. He does get into it, doesn't he? You can hear his heartbeat. might be mined. The final of the men's 200 medley. In 3, Evan Jones. In 4, it's Duncan Scott. Big favourite for this final. Matthew Ward in 5, Charlie Hutchison in 6. Well, we're about to find out what this first leg's going to be for the fastest seed right in the centre, Duncan Scott. What's good about his butterfly here, Tomo? It's a beautiful stroke, isn't it? But he does it so well, so flat.
Yeah, watch Duncan's fly here. It's almost Phelps-esque. It's so low, it's so efficient. That's why he's got such a strong 400 medley as well as a 200 medley.
And you were talking earlier about maybe he was going to try and save it for the second 100, but he's gone out fast in first to turn, 24.96. Duncan Scott in the centre, super turn as well. Now the backstroke leg. He's pretty good on breaststroke and freestyle, but you're saying you were quicker, so he's got to get out a little bit faster here?
Yeah, he's not got me chasing him down like he normally does here, but look, Matt's going to put in a strong backstroke leg here, but it looks like there's clear water between them two at the moment.
Well, he's certainly going forward, and he said, I think his fastest in-season 155.9 that he's gone so far in history, and this still in season 4 in the World Championship, still quite a few months away. Good turn, but a better turn coming from Evan Jones up there in 3. That's interesting. Fast Olympic trials last year as well.
Yeah, that's a quick backstroke, 28.9, and did you see how fast he was over the wall, the back-to-breast turn? Duncan is an absolute specialist at that.
Well, surely, if he could get even a tiny lead here, no one's going to catch him on the freestyle. Olympic silver medalist, to you the gold back in Tokyo. What is he really thinking right now? He's got 50 minutes to go. What's in his head?
He's got through the breaststroke, his rate was high, and he's just going to be coming back like a train. I can't wait to see how quick this time's going to be.
Well, this is going to be fabulous, isn't it? He's actually got clear water. This is amazing. This is absolutely extraordinary. And Duncan Scott looks super here. Well, no doubt about the qualification time. 157.18. 157.1. And he's miles ahead. What time can he do here? This is brilliant. 155. Oh, 156.44. Well, it is a qualification time for Singapore. So he's added that on the 200 medley to the time that he did on the 200 metres butterfly, and the silver's gone to Matt Ward in under 2 minutes, 159.1, and that's a great time from him, a full lifetime second, lifetime best by a second for him in the silver, and the bronze to Evan Jones, also under 2 minutes, 159.2, his first time ever under 2. What a race! He won by miles.
He won by some clear water. 156 for Duncan this time of year is brilliant. That's what we're always trying to knock on the door of. Matt dipping under, big chunk off his best, and Evan as well, all under 2 minutes. Really, really great race.
And I love watching these guys go to head-to-head, and it's just fascinating. But the tactics here, you were talking about not quite sure whether he was going to really push the fly. In the end, he pushed it quite well. How much do you think he used on the fly?
He pushed the fly. He was out under 25 for the fly and under 29 for the backstroke. They are quick times. That's got to be one of Duncan's fastest 200 IMs, and I know quite well how he likes to swim that race.
Great swim from Evan Jones as well. So here's the result of the final of the men's 200 medley. Duncan Scott wins it. A qualification time for Singapore added to that 200 fly that he did. Brilliant swimming from him. Really good in season. That's outstanding. Matt Ward, a super lifetime best in silver. And Evan Jones, the same, another lifetime best in bronze. That is great. And just 8/100 split the silver and bronze. What a race that was. Scott, Ward, Jones with Betty Glover.
Oh, what a race that was. Duncan Scott, that was phenomenal. Talk us through that race from sort of your perspective, because looking at times, at the halfway stage there, you were faster than you were at the Olympic trials when you did it last year. So what have you sort of changed?
Yeah, she didn't come back as quick. That was tough. Yeah, look, you know, I'm trying to, you know, try and learn the whole time, you know, whether that's, you know, going out quicker and put myself under a bit of pressure like I did there, or, you know, if I can be more efficient. So, yeah, you know, I tried that. Tried to hopefully get some learnings from that we can execute this summer. Yeah.
Go on then, what did you learn out there that you can take into Singapore in the summer?
Oh, maybe need to do more than 3 and a bit months training, that's for sure. Yeah, I think, like, I mean, we need to break it down. You know, like stroke counts, you know, where was I efficient, where wasn't, you know. I maybe worked harder than I should have maybe down the first 50. Could have done it a bit more efficient and relaxed. But, look, you know, I think at this time of the year, 6'4", and that's a pretty good time for me. You know, I think 5'9" this time of year is my best ever, so pretty happy with that. And, you know, we shout out, that's top 4 for Scotland there. It's nice, that.
Yeah, well done. Also, Tom Dean on commentary said that your butterfly was Phelps-esque. What do you make of that?
There we go, shouting out the compliments. Cheers, Thomas. Cheers, man.
Well, everyone, give it up for our medalists.
Well, it's always good to have a banter, but from the commentary box to the medal podium, I've never seen that before. Very good indeed. Well, a couple of months of training and he's gone very, very close to his fastest ever in season. What's he going to do in in Singapore?
I think he could do something quite special. If people watched him at the World Cups he did just before Christmas, he was dropping some incredibly quick times. So to build back up and do that special, Singapore's going to be great, but he's got some tight competition. Leon Marchand, just to name one.
Well, he certainly does, and fantastic to see Elaine Johnson presenting the medals here. One of his really early age group coaches, Duncan Scott's age group coaches. Good to see. Isn't that lovely, from Strathaven High School? She's got her own team here as well, but lovely to see. You never forget. You never forget your early coaches, do you?
No, not at all, not at all. I saw my coach from Maidenhead just earlier. It's fantastic. It's great to see giving out the medals tonight.
Well, it really is something special to be reintroduced to your coach. Well, this is here is the man who's in the commentary box. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I loved it. First time I've done a 200 IM in the commentary box. Next time I'll be in the water with those boys, but I've absolutely loved it.
It's exhausting, isn't it, being in the commentary box?
It's not quite as exhausting as 200 IM, but it's up there. It's up there.
Yeah. Well, your man Duncan's coming round in a second, so hopefully we'll be able to wave to him and say hello. It's very good indeed. He looks pretty sprightly walking past us right now. Look at that. He really does.
Thanks for the shout out, Thomas.
Yeah, you're very welcome there, Slav. Very, very welcome.
Cheeky chappy. Very good. Very good. Well, 2 teammates won 2 gold medals in the 4x2 relays at the Olympic Games, and been all around. Thanks so much for joining us, Tom. Great fun. Really great fun to have you here, and hopefully more to come in the future. But let's get you back in that pool fairly shortly and get you back on the medal podium at the World Championships in Singapore. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Lots of fun. It really is. Golly. We've had all sorts of stuff going on here. We've had shout-outs from the medal podium to the commentary box. We've had fantastic races. And that time there, the winning time for Duncan Scott. Goodness me. Super quick. Well, we're straight into the next race. It's the women's 200 metres backstroke for juniors. 15-year-old Darcy Smith, Portsmouth North Sea. She's the fastest seed. A 14-year-old right at the top, Amy Jones of Leatherhead. Junior final, women's 200 backstroke. Well, we will keep an eye on the European junior qualification time here, because it's not impossible for these women in this junior final to do it. And there's a junior in the big final in lane number 1, Isabella Libtrot from Wigan, and I know she can have a crack at it, but these women will have a go as well, so we'll keep a good eye on that for you. It's 2:14.95 for the juniors to make the European Junior Championships. They're going to be held in Slovakia later on this summer in June, and then from that meet, Great Britain will choose their World Junior team. So if you want to make the World Junior team, you've got to go to the European Juniors, swim well there, and then the selections will be made from there. And at the moment we've had, well, so far before this evening's finals, before this nightfall, we've had 20 juniors make the qualification time. They can only take 30 in total. So last year we had quite a few more than 30 in total actually qualify. So unfortunately some who did qualify didn't actually get to go. They do it on percentages generally. All the selectors also have a look at various other permutations. And that first 100, Jan, for that women's junior final, there's 200 metres backstroke. Pretty close, but lane 8's leading. Don't often see that at the 100.
Yeah, Katie Lee led that first 100. Then off the dive, I know that was a few seconds ago, but Susie McNair really took up the whole 15 metres. She came out about half a body length ahead of everyone else.
Well, it is fascinating to see all the different ways that people choose to do the underwaters. Lovely tight turnover as well. Tuck there right at the bottom of that shot from Katie Lee of Salford. Good turn. Now the charge coming from Annabelle Crease from Repton in lane 7 as well. And she's attacking lane 8, Katie Lee. This is going to be interesting. Also going well up there in 3 is Susie McNair of Stirling.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about those 3 girls, but definitely Annabelle Crease is taking this one. Can she hold on for the last 15? She looks strong.
Well, she does, but coming back is Darcy Smith, the 15-year-old in lane 4. This could go anywhere. Is it McNair in 3? Is it Smith in 4? It could be 7. I think it's 4. Oh, my goodness. Lane 3 wins it by 1/100th of a second. The tight finishes we've had tonight's been extraordinary. Susie McNair of University of Stirling, 2:15.53. Wins the junior final of the women's 200 metres backstroke, 1/100th of a second ahead of Darcy Smith of Portsmouth North Sea, with Annabelle Crease of Repton coming 3rd in lane 7. But 1/100th split the top 2.
1/100th is nothing, and we just saw the finish there. Darcy Smith did look a little bit disappointed to come 2nd, but what a phenomenal swim from both these girls, because the last 15, Darcy had that. I thought she won that then because she came back like a train, but actually winning it was Susie McNair. Darcy Smith 2nd, and a great swim from Annabelle Cress in 3rd.
Well, after the heats this morning, Betty spoke to Katie Shanahan and Honey Osrin.
Thanks for joining us. Well done. Katie, are you happy with that?
Yeah, happy as can be, I suppose. It was just a heat swim, just like see how I feel type thing. Try and set myself up nicely for tonight so I know how I am, like, underwater, stroke rate type thing. So, yeah.
You set a lifetime best in the 100 metre, didn't you? What do you think you can do in the 200?
Well, I mean, I've been working on my 200 mostly in training, and the 100 was just a bit of a warm-up almost for this. So it's good to get a PB. It's good confidence boost for me. So, I guess we'll see what happens tonight.
We definitely will. Honey, how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, I say it was a heat swim, but it's obviously a 2 back in the morning, so it's as easy as it can be. But yeah, I think it'll be a great race today. Oh, tonight. Yeah.
What are you going to aim to do? Can you give us a little idea of sort of your strategy without giving too much away?
I mean, obviously, like the world's time is obviously what I'm aiming for. I think coming off the back end of like an Olympic year, it's hard to follow up. But yeah, I'm just going to give it my best and hopefully touch the wall 1st or 2nd. And I just want to get the time. That's the most important thing to me. But yeah.
Well, best of luck to you both.
Well, there's some very quick women in this final. Gemma Spofforth's got the British record there from 2009, 2:06.66. I don't think that's going to be broken today, but you never quite know because there's some really fast women in here. The fastest on paper, and you don't swim races on paper, but the fastest on paper is Katie Shanahan, 2:07.4. Then you've got 2:07.8 from Honey Osrin. And 3rd is Nima. It's not Nima Wood, actually. I think it's Freya Colbert up there in lane 2. There's Beatrice Varney. Outside of Beatrice is Caitlin Ebbage. And here we go. Well, in lane 1, it's Isabel Liptrop, the junior. And Freya Colbert, what a meet she's had. 1 gold on the 200 metres freestyle, did the time for Singapore. Silver on the 400 medley, in which she's the world champion. Abby Wood, her training partner and teammate, beat her, but she also did the time for that as well. So 2 individual races there. Honey Osren, defending British champion in this 200 metres backstroke, finalist in Paris. She goes in lane 6, 4th fastest seed. A comfortable heat, they all swam in the centre, as did Katie Shanahan here, 5th at the Olympics, so 5th and 7th in the Olympic final in this event. Shanahan in 3 and Osren in 6. Neem Ward of Bath in lane 5, University of Bath swimmer. And then Holly McGill, fastest seed. Well, she can go quick as well. She's well capable of going sub 2:10. Well, the carts here, the qualification standard is very quick. It's 2:08.68, so they can't hang around. They can look at each other if they like, but they must make that time if they want to go to Singapore.
Yeah, there's a few girls that are capable of that in this race here. I'm looking forward to seeing Holly McGill and Neve Ward. They're sandwiched between 2 Olympians. There's 3 Olympians in this final, Andy.
Well, it is amazing. 2 of them in the Olympic final of this 200 metres backstroke. What a final. World champion 400 medleys in lane 2. She's already won the 200 free, 2nd on the 4 AM. What can she do on the 2 back? So versatile. Freya Colbert in 2. Shanahan must start as favourite with the best lifetime best and the best finish in that Olympic final of 5th. McGill is in 4, the fastest seed. Neem Ward, 2nd fastest seed, and then Osren, the defending champion, in 6. Wow. Women's 200 metres backstroke final at this 2025 Aquatics GB Championships. Really good underwater from, that is lane number 6. That was Honey Osren, used every single centimetre of the 15 underwater, but not only used it, but then when she came up, went out like your pencil, shooting forward. Beautiful streamline, lovely in lane number 6 here.
It's important on the 200 backstroke, obviously, to use the full 15. If you do go past it, that is an automatic disqualification. But we just saw with Holly, as you just said, she came out of the water like a pencil, getting straight into that rhythm, setting herself up for the first 100.
Well, I tell you what, she's going for this. Half a second up at the 50-metre mark. They just need to be careful of that lane line. She's very close to it, the leader there. Just needs to make sure she doesn't get her shoulder stuck under it. You do roll your shoulders beautifully on backstroke if it's going well. And if you get your shoulders stuck, it's mighty difficult. So up there in lane 3, Katie Shanahan, the favourite from the start, the defending champion in 6. And these two going at it. There's not a lot between them. Under British record pace, underneath Gemma Spoffer's British record. That's amazing at the halfway.
I am looking forward to seeing this second 100 from Katie Shanahan. You know, she won the gold in the 100 backstroke this week, and we know she has good endurance because she is an amazing 400 medley swimmer, but she didn't enter that this week. She's concentrating on this event. She's going for the win on this one.
Well, she's going for the win. They have to do the time though as well, so important. And that British record, that's 16 years old, 2:06.66, held by Gemma Spofford. Now here comes Katie in 3, and this is still under British record pace. Katie Shanahan at the moment, but look at Holly McGill. She's coming back in 4. In 3 it's Shanahan, in 4 it's McGill. Where's this going to go?
I don't know. Look at Holly McGill. She's coming through like a train. Come on, Holly.
Well, they've got to do the time. It's 2:08.68. You can see that on your screen when they finish. Who's going to get the touch? The first one who does the time goes. The second one will be considered. I'm sure they'll go 2. It looks like it's going to be Shanahan. 2:08.68. Oh, my goodness. 2 of them. Well done. Well done. 2:07.91 wins it for Katie Shanahan, and 2:08.20 for Holly McGill. She goes to Singapore as well. Well, I put her on the plane already. The selectors will consider her becoming second, but absolutely sure she'll be going. That's Andy Jameson speaking, not the selectors, of course. But Shanahan is going. She won the trial. She's under the time. She's on the plane. And a swimmer in 2nd place there, Holly McGill. What a great swim. And I think officially the line is she's put herself in consideration in a great place for a plane ticket to Singapore.
Yeah, well, she swam under the time that she needed to, and, you know, the selectors are just opposite us now, Andy. They look very happy, so I think she's going to have to get used to the jet lag.
Well, I certainly hope she does, because that's just super exciting. Before this final session, we had 9 men and 7 women qualify, and I have to say, neither of those 2 names were on the list, so that's 2 more women there, and that's fantastic news for Great Britain. So I'm not sure if we've added any other names this evening apart from men. That's certainly 18 qualifiers with still 2 nights to go. Well, that was brilliant, and let's hear what they have got to say to Betty Glover.
Wow, what a brilliant race, and we can confirm that Katie Shanahan is going to Singapore to do the 200 back. Katie, you told me earlier that was your main aim, that's what you really wanted to achieve. You must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I'm over the moon, obviously, to get the time and to have won the event, because it was a very stacked field. With all the girls, it's not as quick as I would have liked to have gone, but you know, I can't really complain with getting the qualification time and winning.
Well, you were under the British record pace with half to go, so is that in your sights, that British record? I mean, it's been there for 16 years.
Oh, that's a bit disappointing, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had my eye on it for a while, and I was hoping to maybe get close to it tonight, but you know, it's not meant to be. At least I was under it at 150. It's something to work on the back end, I suppose. So.
Well, congratulations. And Holly, you were also under that Singapore time. We can't confirm you're going, but you've put yourself in a brilliant position in front of those selectors up there.
Yeah, really proud of that, yeah. Had to put up a time I knew would be good. Knew Katie and Honey were both going to be there, so it's going to be a hard race, so happy to get it done.
What was going through your head when you were trying to chase Katie down?
To be honest, I couldn't really see her that much, but I knew she's always coming back strong, so I knew I had to keep going because she was going to be there.
Well, congratulations, and also congratulations to Honey Osrin, bronze medalist, sorry. Congratulations, give it up for our medalists!
Well, that was a cracking race as well. What a night we've had here. Absolutely brilliant evening of swimming, and it's been a packed crowd, absolutely full here at the London Aquatics Centre. I'm not sure she's quite recovered yet. Are you, Dan? Oh, that face said it all, didn't it? Gosh, she's exhausted.
It's understandable. Oh, there's a smile. She knows the camera's on her.
Oh, that's great to see. Well, Honey Osrin getting the bronze. She won gold, and a ticket to Tokyo. I keep talking Tokyo, don't I? Ticket to Paris last year. Swam the Olympic final. 3rd this year. Holly McGill, what a swim. Huge lifetime best for her. Coming in 2nd and underneath the consideration time for Singapore. And Katie Shanahan wins the gold underneath the time as well. The qualifying time for her. She is going to Singapore to the World Championships, which are going on end of July, start of August this summer. And what a team we've got now. I think that's 9 men and 9 women qualified already, and still 2 more nights to come. It's unfolding very well, and the selectors given themselves some discretion. I think actually there were 2 more in that men's medley relay, weren't there? So I think it now might be 11 and 9, which would make 20. Fantastic. So over to studio, and let's hear how they summarise. What a night that was.
Thanks so much, Andy. You can see Katie Shanahan there just swinging her gold medal around like no care in the world. It's because she's won quite a few of them, Dan Jervis, isn't it?
Yeah, she was swinging around like a toy, and as she should. As we've just said, she's won loads. I hope she's got room in her medal cabinet.
Oh, I know. But the thing is, she was so close to that British record. She was on it, wasn't she, for half of that race. She said she was really disappointed by that prospect, but it's looking very good for her come Singapore, isn't it?
I think so. You know, she concentrated more on the 200 back this week. She usually concentrates on the 400 medley, an amazing 400 medley swimmer. But, you know, I think we can see some exciting things from Katie in the future, especially this year in Singapore.
She came 5th as well in the Olympics, in the final, didn't she, in the 200 back. So she's got plenty to work on, hasn't she? Do you think it's going to look good for her come LA?
I think so. There's no pressure like the Olympics, and she came 5th at the Olympics with all that pressure. You know, she's used to it now. She's got this experience. She can just take that forward.
Yeah, she looks like she's certainly going to. Shall we talk about the men's 100-metre butterfly final? You were commentating on that. That must have been hard to commentate on because that literally went down to the very last stroke.
It was. I think the winner's just got the one with the longest nails. That was the sort of one where I nearly again had to turn my microphone off because I was just, I was on my feet. It was so exciting.
Yeah, and a word on Ed Mildred, because he won silver earlier in the week, which I think he was a little bit disappointed with. He finally got that gold.
Yeah, I was so happy for Ed. You know, he's such a nice guy, but I don't know why he was so disappointed with the silver, because it was an amazing swim.
Yeah, it was indeed, and that was a stacked field as well. No one could call that, could they?
No, it was. I couldn't call it.
Okay, and then just finally, we've got to have a word about Duncan Scott, because he went out like an absolute rocket. It feels like that man never sort of comes down. He's not really hitting his peak. He's just going up and up and up and up.
Yeah, he is, and he's 28 now, and he's looking as good as ever. You know, as you just said, he's actually looking better than ever. And I was sat next to Tom Dean, who was commentating on his race, and Tom's face at 100, he was like, "Look how quick that is!" And it was amazing. And his breaststroke, he's a very good breaststroker, and obviously we know about his freestyle. He's just phenomenal.
Oh, we certainly do. I love Tom Dean's commentary as well, sort of comparing Duncan Scott's butterfly to Phelps-like. It was really interesting, wasn't it?
If that's not a compliment, I don't know what is.
No, that's the best compliment ever, isn't it? Dan, thank you so much. You can go get a well-earned rest now, I think. We will be back for day 5 here at the London Aquatics Centre, the penultimate day as well. So look forward to that. Don't go anywhere later tomorrow. What am I trying to say? Just come back, guys. Just come back. We'll see you in the morning. Goodbye.